And we're live. We're live with Jude Fowson. How do we feel?
Fucking about time.
It is about time. It is about time.
Yeah,
We're getting it
very
done.
good.
Very good. So we're just talking very briefly, but we're talking about a guy named Lee Murray. Lee Murray was famous UFC fighter who got famous for robbing the bank in Kent, England. And he got $80 million. 80 million, 59 pound, 59 million pound.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
the Australian dollar to UK dollar? What's that?
Oh, it's a big gap.
I think it is.
It is a big gap because so 80 million, 59 million pounds in America was 80 million.
Yeah.
So I don't know I don't know what the gap is for us. I think it's fairly similar though, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I'd say the pounds would be less. I think. Yeah. I think the pounds would be less. So because I remember watching Top Gear the other day, and I think it said there was like 150,000 for a Picani, and I was like, it'd be like 300,000 here for one. I think it's like double in Australia.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, okay. Well, the reason why I brought him up was because he came out one day. Lee Murray came out in a Hannibal Lecter costume, and he looked like he was jacked. He looked like a good dude. He looked similar to you actually. You look very you look very similar to you, like the white version of you, but maybe a bit more.
Version.
Yeah, white version. Yeah, because he was half Moroccan.
Yeah,
South
right.
Moroccan. Yeah. But he's in prison today still because he tried to escape. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was trying to walk out the door, and they were like, "Hey, buddy, you're in for a lot. You know, we know who you are. Like, you're on TV. We know it's you. Like, but yeah, no. But if you're in the UFC and you had to go up against any fighter, who are you choosing?
Whoa. Do I get to fight the chicks, or does it have to be
No,
male?
it has to be a male. Yeah.
All right, well, let's cross off every single heavyweight. There's no heavyweights. Let's also cross off every light heavyweight. We'll also cross off every middleweight, lightweight, welterweight. I think I'll take one of these flyweight boys, but they punch hard.
They do.
They punch hard.
They do.
They'd probably have my best chance against one of those boys because they're lighter than me. Those flyweights are 60 kilos.
Jesus.
I'm 70 kilos. They're 60.
Wow.
They look hell more shredded than I do. Yeah, but if I had to pick one, yeah, I'd probably do one of those unranked flyweights. Yeah, that'd be me personally.
Really?
Or I'd take on one of the chicks.
Oh my goodness.
But we're not allowed to do that because for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think that's fair shout, but I also think if you're a trans dude going to a girls' fight, that's bullshit.
100%.
Everyone can agree. Everyone can agree. But if you're a trans woman going to a guy fight, everyone's like, "Oh, you're so brave. We're on your team." Then she gets like killed, and you're like, "Oh, I wonder what went wrong. Oh, I can't tell you."
Well, now you bring that up. You heard what Dave Chappelle said about the NBA?
Here we go.
He said that if LeBron James turned into a woman, he would drop 849 points a game in the WNBA. And then they're arguing about pay rates. It's just talent. It's just how it works. The revenue and yeah. That's how it goes, you know. Like literally, he's not wrong. LeBron James would probably drop that many points in the WNBA game, and it's just how it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I 100% agree because every big organization runs off pay-per-view or runs off views. Every big organization, the NBA, the NFL, UFC, all does the same thing. And so if you're LeBron James and because the reason why you are LeBron James is because you have that much talent. Can you name a WNBA player?
Oh, well, they get shoved down your throat because they have to post them on social media and shit these days because obviously there's such a big movement there for like pay rises. But I can name Sue Bird and that's about it. And then Brittany Griner because she's the one that's in prison at the moment. She's everywhere.
Oh,
yeah,
true.
She got fucking done smoking pot in Russia.
Dude, if you get busted in Russia, they get you. They get you.
I feel no remorse. You're a twat. Seriously, use your brain, bro. What are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You go to Russia where they have the biggest anti-marijuana movement in the world, and those guys don't fuck around. They don't fuck around. That's the one country where you go and you're like, all right, we're not fucking around. Because if you go to Russia and you're like, I'm just going to smoke a little pipe, we're going to have some fun. Floyd Mayweather didn't take over $1 million, and he carries like $100,000 on him at all times. He didn't take over $1 million to Russia because he goes, dude, fuck that. Right, but she was like, I'm just going to smoke weed. And then she got arrested, and she's like, help me. It's like, no, we can't.
It's just ignorant, I think. Like, regardless what country you're going to, you know, I think it's ignorant to fucking bring shit like that over. I think that's it, especially Russia, you know. It's bad enough bringing it to Australia. Like, I think the penalties wouldn't be as bad if you brought it here to Australia, but bringing it to Russia is fucking stupid. Bruh, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Communist nation, yeah, nice, well done. Fucking No remorse, mate. No remorse. Don't be
No
smart.
mercy.
Everyone
Fucking
learn from her. Everyone learn from her mistakes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Jude's UFC card is him versus Brittany Griner. He's gonna go to the gulag and just fucking.
Speaking of the UFC, there's a big card coming up.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes. So, dude, I'm a Sugar Sean fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Sugar Sean fan. He versus Peter Yan, and I can
Watch that.
agree. I can agree for a fact. Sugar didn't really beat him. He didn't beat him, and it was. But the split decision was so close that it was fair game. In that it was 29-28,
Yeah.
29-28, and I think the reason why he got it was because Sugar was hitting him with some nice
more
arms.
damage.
Yeah, more.
There was more damage, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, as you said, I think Peter Young won that.
Yeah.
With his takedowns, but then, as Joe Rogan said, how many points do we score a takedown? You know, like, what is a takedown in UFC if you're not getting damage? You know.
Yeah.
And then what was yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Like, you know, this brings me on a nice segue, is the Khabib Nurmagomedov, okay? Everyone chats him up. Dude, he wasn't as, like, to me, like, I can agree that he was probably one of the best fighters in the game, for sure. But Nate Diaz had a fun thing to say about him, where backstage he was like afraid of Diaz because Nate Diaz was like Nate Diaz, and he goes in your grill and he's like, you know, fuck you and whatever else, and he was like, I will never fight gangster, man. I'll never fight because they are scary and shit. And then, but his record, he only fought people who had less losses than wins until Conor McGregor.
Yeah. Look, I think. It's obviously going to be split. People are going to think different things of him because they don't like watching him fight because obviously he's doing the wrestle. But think about how effective it is. I honestly think he was so good at what I don't like watching him fight. I wanted Conor McGregor to win when he fought him, but I think you got to respect how good he is at what he done. You know, on the ground he was incredible. His ground and pound was great. He could get anyone down on the ground. He could hold him. He was excellent at what he done, and it's the most effective way of fighting in the UFC today.
Yeah.
Look at Islam.
Yeah.
He just beat Oliveira.
Yeah, he did. He did beat Oliveira. Charles Oliveira, he's a good fighter. He is. But the thing I like about him most, he can take a right jab. Because that dude was standing there and he was like, if I keep him on his feet, I've got a chance. And he was getting minced. And even his coach was like, dude, you got to take it to the ground. He goes, no, if I take it to the ground, I'm out. And they go, no, well, what are you going to do? He goes, I'm just going to Rocky this motherfucker. Like, that's exactly all he's got.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, I thought it could have gone any way, you know, Oliveira and Makhachev. So I'm a big UFC fan, and I had my money on Oliveira because the odds were leaning against him, and I thought, fuck, you know, this could go anyway. This is 50-50. Like, I could see a realm where Makhachev wins, and I could see a realm where Oliveira wins. Yeah. Like, if Makhachev made a mistake on the ground, he was finished. But then that goes back down to, you know, the coaching and Islam's ability. He's a gun. He's a fucking machine. He's a weapon, bro. Like, I can't fault that. Did I want him to win? No. But I'm keen for Volk versus Makhachev. That would be good.
Ooh, fuck yeah, the Volk. Dude, I met Alexander Volkanovski.
You met him?
Yeah, he's a small guy. Very friendly. You wouldn't pick it. Because he's literally like every other guy in Wollongong. You go to Wollongong, walk down the main street, you meet 1,000 of them. They're beautiful people. And they're like, you know, I met him and he was a very nice gentleman. He was a very nice gentleman. He probably doesn't remember me because he's a very busy man. And he's also a UFC fighter and he's probably got knocked out a fair few. But that guy, I've never seen a fighter that has represented the Australia never fucking give up mentality in any other sport in the world. He's the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, and the reason being is because he just doesn't fucking quit.
He's got that battle of mentality that we have here in Australia, and he just carries into the world stage, you know. And I think he's just all around good. Like, he's not amazing at anything, or I mean, actually, his cardio is amazing, but I think he's just great at everything. He's not like the best at anything. Maybe the only thing you could probably argue is his cardio and his fight IQ.
Yeah, okay.
That shit's next level. Like, I'm not much of a fighter. I mean, shit. You know, I'm maybe had like. I'm not going to say I've had many scraps or anything, but I mean, I appreciate watching Volkanovski fight and seeing what he does. You know, I can see what he's doing, and when he does it and the traps he sets, he's very smart like that. And Max Holloway ain't shit. Max Holloway is a gun, bro, and he didn't just beat Max Holloway. He bashed Max Holloway, bro. He put it on him, and I didn't think it was going to be anything like that. So I think Volk's IQ, like fighting wise, and his cardio is the best. But I mean, that was back to what I was saying. His all around skills, like his boxing, his wrestling, his takedown defense. It's all there, and it just comes together, and it's perfect. And there's another thing about Volk, very strong. He's very strong for his weight. Like he's probably the strongest featherweight, I reckon. And then you see it in his punches. I mean, maybe Josh Emmett's up there too, but I mean, I reckon Volk's probably the strongest there, and that you see it in his fights.
That's right, you do. You see that because there's the videos of him working out and he's in the gym and he's throwing around weight and you're like, dude, all right, sure, like, you know, because he doesn't, him and Robert Whittaker, I'm pretty sure, were both bricklayers. They're both bricklayers, but bricklayers are a special breed. They're a breed of human being. Yeah,
couldn't agree with you more. They're tough fucking humans. They're tough. And then you're speaking about Whittaker. Fucking hell, that guy's he beat Izzy last fight. I'm sorry, but he beat Izzy last fight. Okay. I reckon. I 100% reckon. Not by a lot, but here's the thing. He might have beat Izzy. He beats Izzy if it's a standard, normal fight, but it's a championship fight. So you got to take it. You got to take the crown off the champ. He didn't take the crown off the champ. He beat him. If it's just, say, like a standard fight that doesn't have much on the line, Whittaker gets his hand raised. But he didn't take the crown off the champ. And I respect Izzy as well. I think he's just like Volk, he's a very smart fight IQ. And I'm very keen to see him go up against Pereira this weekend, actually.
Oh, yeah. Shit, yeah, because Adesanya has this amazing... I love his Muay Thai. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. Shit, yeah, he's beautiful to watch. But the thing that gets me with Whittaker every time is that he is just carved out of wood and he'll keep coming at you. But the thing that gets me about him is his takedowns, because everything else he has is on the point. It's on the level, but he struggles to get those takedowns sometimes, and then they let him down because you get a failed takedown, you lose points. So he's gone. Right, he's going for the one leg.
But to a degree, I agree with that statement. And also to a degree, I don't, because if you look at Aljamain Sterling last fight, I mean that bloke was 2 from 22 on takedowns against Peter Yan when they last fought, and the guy took the dub because that was his strategy. You know, he didn't want to be striking with Peter Yan, which is fucking obvious. You're not going to be striking with that man, otherwise you're getting put to sleep. So, he was 2 from 22 from takedowns. So, I mean, to a degree, I think it affects... If you're not doing anything else, then I think it affects your the score. But if you're just, just getting up in their face and getting them against the fence with these takedowns that aren't really working, like as such, just get into the ground, but just pressure, then I think that does affect the score.
Oh, for sure. Like, a good person to look at for takedowns and for groundwork, I have to mention him. Everyone's talking about him. Paddy the Baddy from Liverpool. Dude, can you name a better UFC sensation at the moment? Because he's everywhere and everyone's saying like, oh, Paddy the Baddy. Like he pings people in droves because he has this like fucking bowl cut and he looks like the nicest guy on the planet, which he apparently is. But he puts people to fucking sleep. Like he
doesn't play any games, that boy. He doesn't play any games. I've always got time to watch him fight. He's a good fighter, Paddy. Him and that Meatball Molly, they work together. I think, what's her name? Molly McCann or something.
That's right.
Fuck, they're good. They can take over, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he's not the best fighter yet. No. He has flaws. He definitely has flaws. Like, that man's been clipped many times.
Strike game.
He nearly got knocked out the other not too long ago.
I don't know because
something.
Well, I don't know because Paddy, after they said you got clipped with the right hander, how do you feel? He goes, I take that shit in training all week, and as a matter of fact, he gets clipped pretty fucking hard. Like what I'm trying to say is he's got a good chin. He's got a good chin for it.
Yeah, I agree with that. He does have a good chin, but I mean, you need a good chin. Yeah, you need if you're going to be a champion, you need a good chin. You can't go on and be champion without a fucking good chin. You're gonna fucking you need a good chin. Like
look at Jose Aldo.
Yeah, Jose Aldo. Look at Cody Garbrandt, Max Holloway.
There's no.
I mean, Vittori's been up there. He doesn't have the best skill set, but I believe his chin has kept him up at the top because the man just doesn't get knocked out. It's fucked. Yeah. Like he's taken everything. He's taken everything under the sun.
That's right.
He's got the best chin USA for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't like the bloke, but he's got a good chin.
He's got a good chin. If you have a favourite fighter, I'm going to go with mine. I'm going to go with Nate Diaz, the brawler from Stockton. Yeah. Who are you going?
Oh, I was very, very happy to see him win a couple months ago. I loved seeing Leon Rocky Edwards get up.
Ah,
I was so happy to
beautiful.
see him get up.
Well done.
Watch the fight. I had money on him.
Oh,
I had $20 and he was paying like $4 when I got on him, so it was a nice $80 win.
$80.
Rocky Edwards, man, that's fucking the videos and everything.
Yeah.
Like I was watching it live and I thought, fuck, you know, I respect Usman. Usman's fucking classy fighter. He's fucking good at what he does, bro. He's very good. And him and these coaches, Trevor Whitman, they're fucking good, bro. They're very good. But I think Rocky Edwards knockout, it symbolizes fucking just redemption and just like
everything,
hope and just as you said, everything, bro.
Everything,
It's
right?
like literally like the Rocky movie.
Yeah,
like it's ironic that his name's Rocky and then he goes out there and does that shit right at the end. It was just wow. I was fucking yelling, bro, when it happened. I was like, what the fuck? Holy shit!
Gotta love
it. Man, you've seen your favorite fighter get up.
Oh yeah.
And that man has been through shit.
Oh yeah.
Bruh, like everyone knows him for that Nate Diaz fight, just getting that slap. But that bro, he was putting it on Nate Diaz that fight. Sure. He was putting it on Nate Diaz. And then he was good. He was the first bloke to sign up to fight Hamzat.
Wow.
Before everyone else. And I watched the podcast with him and Joe Rogan. He was the first bloke to go fuck Hamzat, but Hamzat got COVID.
No.
But no one else wants to fight Hamzat now, and now he's at the top. Like everyone's scared of shit, and I think Hamzat's gonna be the best. But yeah, everyone's shit scared of Hamzat now. But Rocky was the first one to sign up to fight him, and that's why he got the title shot because he was the first one to sign up for Hamzat. Then what else? I mean, then the eye poke. He was beating Bilal, and Bilal's good, man. Like he got a very nice win the other card. He was beating Bilal and fucking got that eye poke, and it didn't count as a win. This man has just been through shit, and more shit. And all his fights just get cancelled. It's unfortunate, but I mean, fucking look at him now.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
right. That's right. Too good. Yeah, well, I'm a Nate Diaz fan. And the best fight in my book is when he put it to McGregor. And the reason why was because he said when my favorite reason why is because of the post interview, and they go, Nate, how do you feel? He goes, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. I was like, yeah. But Conor McGregor's a good one to talk about because he brought the UFC to a whole new dynamic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. But he brought Irishmen by the droves.
100%.
By the droves.
He's the biggest superstar. He's like what Messi and Ronaldo are in soccer, and he's like what Federer is in tennis, and he's what like. I'm not going to say Cam Smith in rugby league because he's not probably the most appropriate one, but you know what I'm saying. Like, give Tom Brady in football. He is the superstar of the sport. He's the biggest thing that UFC's ever seen, and comes down to his promotion.
Yes, yeah,
it comes down to his promotion. He wasn't. Don't get me wrong. He's fucking striking. I think he was one of the best. He was one of the best strikers UFC's ever seen, but he wasn't the best.
No. He
was nowhere near the best. No. He didn't defend that featherweight title. I think he did defend the lightweight one, but it definitely didn't defend the featherweight one. Yeah. He's fucking great striker, but it was his promotion. He just, to get that fight with Mayweather, that cemented him as one of the best promoters ever, man.
100%. Floyd Mayweather's a good one too. He's famous for defense, and people always go to that fight, but Conor cracked him with a good few shots, and because, like you said, Conor's striking that's what made him the champion, was his striking. And the thing that he's most famous for was the Jose Aldo knockout, and I love that fucking clip because he goes, it'll be done in one, and he runs out there and just toomph, and you're like, oh shit.
Mystic Mac.
Yeah, Mystic Mac. That's right. But dude, there's like the UFC at the moment is popping off. It's going off the chain. It is, and that's so good. It's so good because there's so many benefits to martial arts, and that people always see it as a brutal thing, but it's really like boxers are getting more trouble than UFC fighters because in boxing they have the 10 count. No, they can get back up and get knocked out again and again. They get fucking Alzheimer's and all sorts of shit. Yeah, but the one that gets me is Tyson Fury. And the reason why is because that guy is going 100 miles an hour straight to Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever the case may be. Yeah. And he, to me, doesn't signify too much of a champ.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Now you bring it up. Another thing about boxing and UFC, how it's different. The UFC sets matchups that people want to see. Like Tyson Fury's fighting some fucking bloke I've never heard of in my life. Like, don't get me wrong, Tyson Fury's fought against some good guys. You know, he's obviously Wilder's a fucking gun. Like, he knocked that bloke out first round last fight. Like,
bang.
He's a fucking machine. But I mean, Tyson Fury's fighting some bloke I've never heard of. That Kyoris guy. I've never seen him fight. Don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
And that's because boxing's fucked. It's royally fucked. Like, yeah, you probably get more pay in boxing, but it's not like it's not as stable as it is UFC, as Dana White said. And it's true. Like, I'm not siding with Dana White here because I prefer the UFC, but he's right in saying that boxing's falling apart. It is. Like, all these blokes are fighting bums. There's no big fights because they're all scared to fight each other. Like, I respect Kambosos. He fucking called out the top bloke. And yes, he lost twice, and he definitely didn't look like he was going to win any of them. Yeah. But, I mean, he's just fighting the best bloke. That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. That's what happens in UFC. Yeah. But that's not what happens in boxing. You call out some bloke that's like, fucking the 14th best in the world when you're on top, and then you fight him, and then wow, you beat him. What do you do? It's
soup can. It's soup can. Yeah, it's bullshit.
It's all these belts and shit don't work. No. They need one thing.
Yes.
And they need one competition because you all got all these belts and everyone's fighting for it. It makes no sense. No. I don't know. I can't keep up with it. I literally can't keep. I can keep up with UFC. I can know who's on top, who's winning. I can't keep up with boxing. No. It's fucked.
It is fucked.
And they make huge money. I don't know where it all comes from.
Oh, it's the government, and it's the big thing. Yeah. So in Texas they came across this bill for the combat bill, and it was for combat sports, and they signed it for Dana White. And Dana White came in, he said, "Hey, look, I want to make a bill for this promotion, the UFC, yada yada yada." And they go, "Ultimate Fighting Competition? Shit, yeah, Troy, we'll back that shit." And so they wrote that off. So boxing, because it was such an older sport, the founding fathers had an agreement where they had like a spending regimen, and because America is so fucking patriotic, they didn't fucking change it over time. And so as they spread in Boston, they were like, we're going to dedicate so much of our fucking government to the combat sports. And so they did, and then now boxing's got all this money in it. But the one person that got it all in there was Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, with all his pay-per-view fights.
Oh, fuck
yeah, dude. He was the pinnacle of boxing and sport in the 1980s. Like, come on, Mike Tyson, man.
He was a fucking man. He was the man. He was a murderer. He was a murderer in the ring, man. It's just he made boxing so livid. I don't even know who to. He's like the Conor McGregor, but like better back in boxing. You know, he was the superstar. He was the man. He was knocking blokes out, not fucking like brutally, bro, like viciously, fucking knocking cunts out, bro.
Because he was hypnotized to do that by Customato. Customato was a fucking hypnotist, and he said, "I'm going to make you the champion of the world, and you're going to hit with every bad intention you come across." And Mike Tyson at 13 was arrested 38 times. He had been in the shit. He was just like, the only way he knew to live was to fight, and he had these bad intentions because his family didn't love him. And Cuss was like, "We're going to harness you and make you a fucking alien, an animal." And that's right. And so when he got into the ring, he was rising up. And I think it was, if you look at 1998, Mike Tyson, he comes out against Peter McNeely, and he's fresh out of prison, and he is jacked. Like, we've never seen him before.
That's right.
And he's following him with his eyes.
The eyes.
Terrifying.
Oh, fuck that. You could see the fear in Peter's eyes, eh? And he went out there and just fucking smacked him. Smacked the fuck out of him, bro. Man, that's... shout out Peter. Fuck, I ain't taking that fight, bro. Never in a million years. Man, I wouldn't get into a ring with fucking Mike Tyson for $1 million, bro. Nah.
Really?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, the most I'd go in there, because here's the thing. You got to also calculate how much it's going to be for the hospital to fix you when you come out there. Like,
the health bills,
Tyson punches you in the fucking liver, you're going to need to replace it with some shit. It's about, $15,000-$20,000. Oh yeah, and then he breaks my cheekbone. Alright, gonna have to get that fixed up. Oh, he broke my nose. Yeah, concussed. Yeah. Bruh, fucking...
Check your ribs out.
Yeah, check... Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've got fucking broken ribs. Yeah. Seriously, like, the amount of money I'd make, say you gave me $1 million to fight him, I'd need to spend all of that to get my body fixed after.
That's right. He made somebody broke by doing that. He hit... I think it was his 42nd knockout, and they said there's no way Mike's gonna do it. And Mike went in, and they're like, "Mike, what do you think of this fight?" He goes, "Hey, he's cute. He's fucking cute. He's a cute guy. He's not gonna hurt me, but he's cute." He went in there and belted him, and the guy goes, they come in 2 years later and say, hey, you fought Mike Tyson 2 years ago. What are you doing here? He goes, "I live here. There's a bus station." And they go, "Why do you live here?" And he goes, "I had to pay off medical bills. I genuinely had to pay off the medical bills that Mike Tyson influenced on him." That was that bad of a beating.
Fuck me, Dad. Yeah, he's a fucking murderer in there, bro. Like, I don't know why people would even want to start up to fight him. I think the only person you can compare him to at the moment is like that's actually fighting today is Ngannou.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, I
Well,
would say,
to a degree.
yeah.
Like that's in UFC, of course.
Yeah,
but I mean,
who's the you just mentioned him before? Shaved head, beard. He's been smashing everyone. Win by first round KOs.
Wilder?
No. In the UFC,
Hamza.
yes.
Hamza.
I'll
Yeah.
play him to the same card as Mike because Mike was all knockout,
Yeah.
and Hamzat is all knockout too. He's got that
Oh.
knockout power.
Well, yeah. But the thing is about Hamza, and I really, really like watching him fight. Like every time Hamzat's on there, I'm fucking watching, bro.
Yeah.
He's so incredible. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Before the last fight, when Hamzat was fighting Nate Diaz, I had $500 on Hamzat.
Shit.
I was certain he was gonna win, bro. I was certain. And then the fight got cancelled, so I got my money back, of course.
Thank
but
God,
I had
Jude.
fucking $500 on him to smack
500.
Nate Diaz.
500.
Yeah, like he's a fucking machine. But the thing is, he gets it done submissions wise,
Mm.
and then he gets it done by knockout. He's
Mm.
so dangerous on the feet, and he's so dangerous on the ground.
Mm.
Like that. Did you watch the Gilbert Burns fight?
Mm.
That was the best fight I've ever seen. That was the best fight I've ever seen.
Okay.
If you got to watch it after this, man, like they're just going at it the whole time, no ground, literally just fucking to the pump, just going until the 5th round, man. Obviously, Hamzat got his hand lifted, but fuck me, bro, that was an incredible fight.
Yeah.
Hamzat is just so entertaining.
Yeah. Well, Hamza versus Nate Diaz will be interesting because Nate Diaz is a brawler and he doesn't give a fuck. Like you have to knock him out to make him go to sleep. Oh, you have to tap him to go to sleep too. Fun fact: he's a black belt under the Gracies. Dude's a fucking maniac on the floor. His cardio is insane.
Ferguson.
Yeah.
Look what he done to Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson.
I had fucking money on Ferguson to win that one.
Oh.
And it was the last one on my multi. I got all 5 right, and then the fucking dumb Ferguson's coach tells him to go to the ground. I thought it was so stupid.
Yeah.
This bloke, Nate Diaz, has been training for one of the best fighters on the ground, and then fucking Ferguson goes on the ground like a dickhead and gets submitted in fucking 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I watch my money fucking fly away.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Nate Diaz, fuck. He wasn't the best, but he's just like...
He's got that brawler mentality.
He's got that brawler mentality, and there's just something about him. He's just got a certain enigma about him. He was just the man. Everyone loved him.
Oh yeah,
Because of his personality and who he was,
But he runs Ironmans. He's insanely cardio. Cardio's at the peak. The thing that people don't understand about Nate Diaz is his strike game. Because everyone's like, he looks sloppy. But it's not. It's highly. It's very calculated. And the thing is, his brother Nick was also on the UFC. But Nick was
Strikeforce champion.
Yeah, strike. But he was also he looked more or less developed than Nate. And I think the reason was because he was the first brother who didn't have anyone helping him out. So Nate had his brother who'd been through it and all that other shit. But there's something about the Diaz brothers and their tarnished view that if you see him in the ring, you're like, oh, fuck, we're in for it tonight. We're in for it.
Man, Nick fought fucking killers, bro. He fought GSP, fucking Robbie Lawler. He went up against some fucking guns, bro.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, any cunt that fights GSP, bro, fuck. No
way.
No, it actually leads me. What's your GOAT? Who's your GOAT?
My GOAT for the UFC? There's a big 3. Everyone knows the big 3.
Absolutely.
St. Pierre, Silva, and Jones. Yeah. I'm a John Jones fan. I have been for a long time, but I think the greatest of all time is got to be George St. Pierre. I really do think that, because Anderson Silva was great, and I remember my first time, me and my brother watching a UFC fight, and we got it on like the live and everything. It was the cut. It was the Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman cut.
Oh yeah. I remember that one.
We had it at home, and we were watching it together. And anyway, so I'm like, oh, the fight's about to start. I'm gonna get something to drink from the kitchen. So I leave to the kitchen, and my brother just yells out, "No way!" And I come back, what happened? What happened? He goes, Anderson Silva just snapped his leg in fucking half.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I think that loss he had, obviously he couldn't help it because it was an injury, but that loss affected his legacy a lot. I think, especially in regards to being the GOAT, because everyone's gonna look back at that.
Yes.
But then
yeah, we're back. But anyways, legacy-wise, they're going to look back on Anderson Silva and think that.
Yeah, because he had a couple of losses, at
Yeah.
the end. And that makes a huge difference. GSP was only up 1 to Matt Hughes. And it was fucking sloppy that time, but I mean, John Jones though, he had a loss as well, but then he didn't lose that fight, bro.
Keeps coming back. Yeah,
he didn't lose that
fight. No.
He just done that elbow. He used to like the 6 to 12 elbow.
6 to 12, yeah.
The 6 to 12 elbow, which was illegal.
Illegal, yeah.
But he was fucking beating on that bloke, bro.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, John Jones undefeated. And yes, he done the steroids, but
no, did he get busted for steroids or coke?
Steroids, bro.
Steroids, right?
Because he was meant to fight Cormier, and then he got dumped for steroids. But I mean, despite the steroids, I think it's so hard to go against what John Jones done, bro.
Yeah,
like fucking machine.
That's
15. What was it? 15 fights he won as a champion.
Yeah. Yes.
15. Fucking hell. Well, I think about how long Usman's been there for. We think Usman's been there for ages. He's only won 5 times.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
He's only he's only beat 5 blokes as champion.
Yeah.
Jones has done 10 more than that.
Yes, I know.
Fucking, that's beyond me. Well, I think in today's age, it's getting a little bit more competitive in UFC. Obviously, the sport's growing and you're getting more nationalities and shit coming in, and more people, like, from everywhere, you know, the Latin area. There's more fighters from there. There's more Asian fighters coming in. Europe fighters. Like those fucking Dagestanis, bro. Those Dagestanis, every second bloke in UFC, his surname's Nurmagomedov. And they're all fucking killers.
Yeah, well, the thing is, where they're from is a war-torn country, and the only way you're going to make it to eat is to be scrapped. Like, it's the only thing they're going to do. And they wrestle and they're all that shit. But Conor McGregor has a view on it, where he goes, if you keep hammering, like if you have a bar of gold, and let's say a bar of gold, like Dagestan, right? Or how do you say it? It's Dagestan. Yeah, Dagestan. You have a bar of gold and you keep hitting it with a hammer. It's just eventually over time it's going to get softer and softer and softer. But they're at the point where they're punching out these guys, and over time it's going to change. It's going to shift, and like. The biggest rise is the Australian fighters. We've got some guys who are really showing up. There's one fighter from Australia that I'm not a fan of, and that is Tai Tuivasa.
You're not a fan?
No.
Why?
I can't get behind him because he's so fun and carefree, which is a good way to be, but his game is he's just a Western Sydney gangbanger. We know 1,000 of them. We know 1,000 of them.
Yeah, I agree with that. We know 1,000 of them, but then the rest of the world don't. That's why it's interesting for the rest of the world to see him. See, that's a very interesting topic you bring up, Tai Tuivasa. I rate him. I will always watch his fights. Do I think he's the most technical? No. He does set up some smart traps, like in his last fight. You've seen him get that kick to the head, and then he's like wobbling a bit, and then he come in, serial guard, to fucking bash him, and then when he was wobbling, I thought that was crazy little trap he set up. I think he's just like his persona, like, you know, it's you can get behind it, you know, and he's done well for himself, obviously. Man, that fucking fight against Derek Lewis was madness, bro. That was madness. Yeah, fuck. I remember, I think I had I think I had Jack Craig over and watched it together, and he's fucking crazy. He was shocked when he won, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I think I like Derek Lewis. I think he's a funny cunt.
Yeah.
I mean, Ty's got a Billy, bro. He actually nearly sat down and fucking put out Gane.
Yep.
Bro, that guy lost to Ngannou, but Ngannou fucking didn't strike with him. He had to wrestle.
Yeah, that's right.
So that fucking says something about Gane striking, and Tuivasa was fucking having a crack at him, bro.
I'll give you points where they do, because Tuivasa has an iron chin. He's got good hands, but his belly puts me off. I want him to be jacked.
He's a heavyweight, but he's a heavyweight, and
but they can still be jacked. You know.
Yeah,
what
that's
I mean?
true. Gane's pretty jacked.
Yeah.
But look, Fury fucking works well for him. Like, he's a heavyweight in boxing, but
I don't like the gut. I just don't. That's just me though, because I was fat. Because when we were at school, I was very heavy. I was 180 kilos.
You bring that up, fucking well done, bro. You've fucking done very good, you know.
Thank you very much.
It's crazy shit.
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
it's weird.
It's weird shit. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I went to the photos for the formal.
Yeah.
And then the people. The difference in people's personality, like Jack and Temple and I were talking about, they said, when you're big, not a lot of people want to know you. And if they do know you and they're just being friendly. But when you look good, dude, everybody wants to know you. They go, you know, way back and shit. Like, I have a lot of friends, like, obviously. But there's a lot of people who are now way more friendly than they used to be. And I go, okay.
Well, that's what happens, isn't it? It's really it's not the best thing ever. Like, I think that everyone should get treated the same regardless of their way. Like, I always treated you the same. I'm going to treat you the same now as I did back then.
That's right.
It makes no difference to me. But I think your journey, bro, it's fucking inspiring, eh?
Thank you.
Like, I'm not trying to fucking blow your dick here, but like, it generally it's inspiring. Like, I think you're fucking so committed and you've done a very good job for yourself. You should be proud.
Thank you very much.
If I was like that, I'd probably be a bit more built.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask you questions now. It's your podcast, of course, but how did that all come about? So what do you do to like what? I'll put my coffee down here. What have you done that's been successful in your journey? Like, what do you implement, like, during your training, like, you know, when you're eating? What do you do? Like, what have you noticed has been successful?
Oh, it's 99% mental. It's all mental, dude. Because, like, when you're in the public eye all the time and you're anxious, you're worried. And when you're anxious, you're freaking out all the time. And you need to have, like, some mental ability. So the biggest turning point, I think, was one day after school. I had to walk to the bank. I had to walk to Commonwealth Bank, and I didn't make it anywhere near the time. I walked from school, I got to the bank, and I remember picking up my bag, and my back, it was water. It was just sweat. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I could get a lift home, or I could walk in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking walk in this, just so I never be at this fucking point again.
Of course, yeah.
And that same day, I'd been like, I'd been like drinking or whatever, and I was like, look, I'm just going down a shit road here. And then I got home and I put myself on trial a bit, but that was the turning point where I'm like, I enjoy the gym. Why don't I just keep doing that? And then I enjoy this. Why don't I keep doing that? Yeah. And the biggest inspiration was seeing, like, because I remember I got into the gym and I weighed 175 kilos, and I lost 5 kilos, and I said, I lost 5 kilos. I can do this. Yeah, and after that, I just fucking just went after it, and it just became what I loved, just what I do. And like eating, like you said, like, dude, I remember I used to eat like fucking 2 Domino's pizzas in one sitting. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course.
That shit's wild now. Like, I don't do that anymore, but fuck, man, like it. But yeah, like it's all your mindset. Like when we were playing rugby union, I was the biggest guy on the field every day we went on, every game we went on.
Yeah, you used to scare cunts.
Yeah. But I was more scared of them.
Isn't it ironic? We have 2 people on the podcast. I was the smallest on the field, and you're the biggest. Yeah, it's fucking sick.
But I was more afraid of every single person that was in front of me than they were afraid of me. And now I'm lighter and I'm there, and I can run through brick walls. I have this mentality that it's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, that's my job.
Exactly, and that's the thing, now you're more fit. Yeah, of course you can run longer, you can fucking run harder, you probably can run quicker now, I'd imagine.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, you're ready to fucking go have a crack. I mean, shit, I wanted you to play with us the last few seasons because we needed some fucking big forwards.
Yeah, happens. Yeah.
But when you left, I think, like, for me personally, when you were playing, like, it's not only because of you, but it was just when we were just all together as a team, like 15s, 16s, I fucking really enjoyed it. And then I didn't mind playing with the other boys, but it wasn't as good as playing with you. So it's fucking the best cunt. It's fucking mad, right?
Yeah. Because I think I was as much as I was afraid, I was still a fucking promoter. I'd get everyone revved to the fuck up because I used to yell shit like all the time.
Well, that's the thing, bro. I remember fucking, you wouldn't hear it because you were obviously all making runs, but everyone was fucking, go Jamie, cunt, when you were fucking making a run, and I was like, yeah, bro. But nah, man, so I heard you're playing league now.
Leagues next year, yeah, baby.
Go have a fucking crack at that, mate.
Yeah.
My days of footy are done, bro.
No.
Yeah, man.
No. What happened was, I think you went into rugby union. You come out of rugby league. You went into rugby union. You came in and had some good set of 2 years. Yeah. And then you were getting complacent. And then you got thrown into the deep water with those fuckheads. Like, look. I have nothing ill to say about them, but I can tell you the demographic is very different between what we had and what they do.
Well, that's right, and I think Damo and Grant looked after me heaps, and Troy and that. Yeah. Not so Mick and Bill, good coach Bill, looked after me a lot as well, but I don't know. Like the last season I was about to play, Bill kept telling me, the one position I want to play was second row, and I had it, but I don't know, I just couldn't get myself to commit. I played one game, I thought 2 games of the trials, and it was fucking great fun. But I mean, it's a fucking hard slog, bro. Especially here. It gets cold on the weekdays and after school, man, and you're training and it gets fucking cold and even just playing Canberra, bro, it's fucked.
Oh, fucking hate it.
Oh,
I fucking hate it.
Oh, I prefer playing in the heat, bro. I honestly prefer. I'd rather play a 40-degree day than a fucking minus 40-degree day. Like I'd rather be out there in the fucking hot because then you're breathing heavy, but it's not like you're fucking shivering and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, because we had such a good set of forwards in myself, Dylan Biles, and all those the bigger boys.
Yeah.
You were put out to the wing and stuff, and
that's fine,
Yeah, but on a cold day, fuck that.
Oh, bro. Well, that's the thing, All those other boys were fucking hitting the weights, and I don't know why, I just didn't. But now I've hit the weights now, and I've put on a little bit more weight since then. But yeah, that was the thing. I just should have hit the fucking gym more, bro. I was the smallest bloke out there. To be fair, I could run much faster than I can now. I'm a slow cunt. Bro, I can't run anymore, eh?
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man, I'm slow as fuck these days.
Really?
I can't, I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But, no, man, that was good days. The grand final, bro, that was the best thing ever.
Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah.
Man, that was fucking madness.
That was one of the, like, very big glimpses of, like, that was one of the, like, when I was really heavy, I had health issues. And I had the point where, like, I could have been in big trouble. And, like, I had to find moments to live for. And those moments, they're the ones that you fucking live for, yeah.
Like, every fucking Tuesday and Thursday when it's, like, -6 and we're fucking training. These cunts from Sydney, they don't understand it, bro. They don't understand it. They don't understand playing in snow and shit. They don't understand it, bro.
No.
They're fucking... They might be playing GPS and all that, but nah, try fucking training and what we're training in, bro.
Yeah.
No, it's cold as a cunt.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's what you play for. Like, moments like that, man, that was... Fuck. Like, spent a bit of time on the footy field, but that was the best. Yeah, that was my favourite moment ever, bro.
For sure.
Just how it went. Such a tight game. And, bro, Isaac's performance, man. The 3 fucking tries. I was like...
Let's go.
Nah, that's good times, man. That was the best moment out in the footy field for sure.
Oh, yeah. Because I think now we could go full circle and come again. I really think if we all bind it in, we could all full circle come again. Like I really do.
Look, I'd love for that to happen. I would absolutely love for that to happen. And if everyone did that, I would fucking...
Oh yeah, it would rev it.
I'd get back into it. That's the only thing that could inspire me to play again next season. But it's gonna be fucking difficult, bro, because everyone's doing their own thing now, work-wise and shit. But it's a life, eh?
That's it. Because it takes time. Like I took 3 years of just like working on me.
And you had to.
Yeah.
And you've done well. And you know what? You've probably, you've longered your lifespan now. Like
big time.
I'm not saying you were gonna die early when you were that heavy, but I mean
it would have helped.
Oh yeah, exactly. It would have probably. I mean, at the end of the day, now that you're fitter, I can say it. You probably would have passed away earlier with the weight because 100%. You're probably from like a heart attack or something because that's what happens.
That's right.
Well, now you're like you're getting fitter. So what's your ideal weight actually?
My ideal weight, well, 110.
110. Fuck.
I'm aiming for 110.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I weighed myself this morning. I'm 124.
You're close.
Yeah, I'm not far out.
You're fucking close. I mean, that's ridiculous, bro. Fucking hell, that's like. Right, it's so inspiring. Like, I've been fucking on 70 kilos for 9 months and I'm trying to fucking get off of it, bro.
Really?
It's crazy. We have 2 people here and you have one goal that is so different to mine. I'm out here trying to put on weight and I can't fucking do it to save my life. You, man, it's different. You're trying to lose the weight. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, we were talking, I was talking to Charlie Hayes about it and Charlie said to me, he says, you're talking to Small, and he goes, what's harder, gaining or losing? I said, man, losing. You can lose weight like that. You can do it really seriously. 2 minor tweaks or to your diet, or for a fact, you just get your heart rate up. For example, when I was 163, I got my heart to 200 beats per minute.
Jesus.
Yeah. And everyone's like, is that even possible? It sure is. And if the highest your heart rate can get to is 300. And the reason we know this is because of the strongmen like Eddie Hall and those kind of boys who would be clocking in 270s, 280s. One guy got his heart to 300. And he died on site and got resuscitated back to life. But like that's the type of intensity. But if you get your heart over 150 beats per minute and you maintain that, you will lose weight, 100%.
Yeah, I think. Look, I can't. I've been lean all my life. I'm not a student. I've been lean all my life. I've never been in an opportunity where I've had to lose fat. But from my personal experience, and this is what my opinion is based off me trying to put on weight, I think it's a more painful experience losing it. I think it's more painful, but I think it is harder to actually put it on. Like, I know, like, it's fucking shoving all those calories down your mouth, bro. It's really hard. And I can sit there and I can go without dinner easily. You know, I can go fucking watch a movie and I'll be fine. I completely forget about dinner. But then, yeah. But that's the thing. I think also in saying that, then there's times where I'm really hungry and I can eat. But then there's times where you're going to be really hungry and you can't eat.
Yes.
So that makes it a little bit more painful for you because obviously you're going to be in pain because you can't eat.
Yeah.
But then in regards to actually putting on weight, it's not as painful, but it's a difficult process, especially when you have very, very fast metabolism like myself, you know. The only way that I've noticed I can put on weight is when I'm fucking shoving weight gainers down my mouth. I need weight gainers, bro. That's the only way I can put on weight because it's just, bro, I was eating 4 meals a day at one point. I still wasn't putting on weight. And I felt sick and shit when I was doing it. Yeah. Like, it's very difficult to eat a lot of food, you know. Regards to cutting, though, like, I think that's a much more painful experience, obviously, because, you know, you're in pain, as I said, and you're fucking trying, and it's harder in a sense mentally, I think, as well. Yeah. Mentally, it's harder, 110%. Yeah. And physically, it's more harder, but, like, I think it's just, they're both difficult in itself, man. Yeah. But, I mean, if there was one that I'd probably have to pick, I can't compare to losing weight, because, as I said, I've never tried to, but I just know from my personal experience that putting on weight's a fucking pain in the ass, bro.
Yeah, well, gaining mass I've found is pretty easy. And the reason why is because I'm naturally blessed and fucking gaining mass. But I tried to put on, I tried to put on 5 kilos of muscle. And I did fairly quickly. Fairly quickly, and I wasn't eating like 4 meals a day or anything. I just fairly quickly could do that. But I think someone like yourself with the high metabolism and all that stuff, like, it must be very difficult. And the thing that gets me is like those boys who are like bodybuilders. And now I always drop him in every single time. Gus Young, a good friend of mine, Gus, who looks fantastic. His physique is fantastic.
I haven't seen the boy for a long time.
Really, I saw him at a party recently, and he looks fan-fucking. You know Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat? Yeah, dead ringer. Dead ringer, and but he looks fantastic, and he calculates everything he does, and I think he eats 4 meals a day. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Yeah. So when you're eating 4 meals a day, did you plan it out? Like, what times were you eating?
Well, that was during lockdown, so it's much easier, you know, when you were just doing the school unlocked through your fucking computer. So I had all of my time up my hands. I'd wake up. So I'd fucking log into the homeroom, and then I'd eat a meal then. Say it'd be porridge and bananas or some shit. Nice. And then it'd be like period 2, and then I'd make some eggs and toast. And then like a couple of hours later, at the end of the day, I'd have whatever was in the fridge, whether it was some chicken or some fucking beef or whatever was there. And then I'd go train. Bro, I've only started training since lockdown last year, but I've noticed, and I'm a very humble bloke. Okay. I'm very humble. I never sit there and shove my gains and shit in other people's faces. I just go, I like challenging myself. I don't go up against other people. I like going up against myself, you know? Yeah. But I've only started training since lockdown last year, and you know, I started off with fucking just 10 kilo dumbbells at home. That was all I had, and you know, and my arms started getting bigger because that was all I was fucking doing. I think, and then you go back to school, and it's very difficult to eat the 4 meals a day because it's just, you got that 6-hour period where you can't, unless you're waking up early in the morning, you're having a meal at 7, then you're having something to eat at 9, but then you're gonna fucking shit your guts at school, which you don't want to do. Don't want to touch that fucking shit. Dude, my brother has a fucking classic tale. We went to Trinity Catholic College, and he was in year 7, and there was a guy in year 10. This guy in year 10, they said, dude, we'll give you $50. We'll give you $50 if you shit directly next to the toilet, next to it, and we get a hockey stick and we fling it across the floor. So they do this, and they fling it, and it goes out the door, and hits a kid directly on the leg. But the thing that gets me about that story every time is that
Could you imagine the transaction time where that is flying through the air and makes contact like that to somebody's leg? Would have just been like, oh, and then like, oh, dude. But our school toilets were a place of nightmares.
Oh, still
they still are, yeah. I remember the last
I know
time.
what they're doing these days is just fucking chill for him, cunt. It's literally, you should see all the cunts. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. You walk in there at the end of lunch or end of recess, there's like a queue, bro. There's a fucking queue of kids just waiting in like the last cubicle, have a fucking chuff. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen, bro. The best thing I've ever seen. And then on our final day, on the grad day, or not on the grad day, but like might have been a grad day. All the boys in our year, we all fucking went in there and mate, I fucking saw Skeff in there. It was the funniest thing ever, bro. He's the last bloke I thought he'd do it. It was just great. I'm glad the cunt did it. But that's what they're doing these days, but bro.
Good shit, boys. Good shit. I love that.
Right.
Shout out to Tommy Skeff. I love that.
Love to see it.
Good repping, bro. But yeah, no, fucking hell. Like, yeah, I remember once myself, Charlie Hayes, Joe. Oh, I'm not gonna throw his name in if he doesn't want. I won't yet anyway. But me, Charlie Hayes, a few other boys, we were in there and we were like, chuffing away and whatever. And the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life was Jack Temple and I were walking out of the bathroom. We hear, "Oi, can't." We're like, "What? Oi, can't?" And it was Monahan. And we're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he goes, "I want to give some fucking bit of a chuff, you dog." We're like, alright, but his voice got us because he was like so high at the time. I think he was in like year 7 or year 8. And his voice was high at the time, and then his voice dropped. And you know, because he's like still a little dude, and he's still got that deep voice, and you're like, he's the nicest guy in the world, but you're like, I love him. I love him to pieces.
Yeah, he's fucking mad, cunt.
He is.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, bro. So pretty much, how do I say this without getting arrested by the police?
True.
I had something that was supposed to be sorted for him, and my other mate kind of fucked him over, and I felt like a prick about it. I'll tell you after the podcast. Only because I tried to get arrested. And then, I kind of got scammed and fucked over, and I felt like a prick about it. So I owe the cunt a bunch of beers. So now he's 18. If he's watching this, I'll fucking look after you, bro. Yeah. But I love the cunt. He's funny.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's been a great guy our whole life. Yeah, he's been great. Like, there's a lot of guys like that. Like there's a lot of guys. Country people.
So now you bring that up. There's such a difference between Sydney and Goulburn people, bro.
Oh yeah, big lots.
There is so much, man. Like, it's just, I think Goulburn, and if you go north and all the way south as well, like just in the country regional areas, a lot of the boys are the same, like the country boys especially. Like, you're going to see cunts like Jack Temple and like I love Jack Temple.
Everywhere. He's I
love Temple, but you're going to see boys like Temple
everywhere. You're
going to see him in Wagga, you're going to see him fucking everywhere, bro, because they're very similar. They got similar beliefs.
The same with Giuseppe. We love him. We love him.
Yeah, Giuseppe, love the Wog. And Jake Borders, all of them, bro. You can see them all everywhere across regional New South Wales. They're similar bloke. They all have the same beliefs, same views, same principles, same morals. They're everywhere.
Right. They're everywhere.
And then in Sydney, it's like, I can make a comparison. I've thought about this. I'm always thinking about things, especially like when I knew I was coming on this podcast. I'm ready to tackle all areas of everything, bro.
Ready to go.
Girls in Sydney, they use Instagram over Snapchat.
Yes.
Girls here use Snapchat over Instagram. And see, that's like me. That's like everyone in Sydney mostly. Like, I remember when I first moved here, I never fucking snapped people. I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know. I remember like 2 chicks in my class started snapping me. I was like, what the and I opened it and it didn't have any writing or anything. It was just a photo of their face. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What am I going to do, bro? Am I stand my back? Because all we did was talk on Instagram and shit. That was all we used to do. Now, if you had to ask me, I prefer the chicks to use Instagram because then you see more mirror photos and this and that and the bikinis and all that, bro. You don't see it on Snapchat. They're very girls in Sydney also like show their physique more and show what they're doing more. While girls here, they're very I don't want to say conservative, but they're very like, closed off, have you said. And that's fine, I don't expect them to go out there and fucking do what they're doing in Sydney, but I mean, they're very conservative here. Like, they don't, and They might get angry at that. I don't know, because chicks get angry at everything, but I can fucking admit that and that from what this is my personal experience that I've witnessed.
Yeah, no.
That they're very conservative, very different to how they operate in Sydney. It's like they're trying to be it, but they're not. They're just halfway there.
That's right. Well, you don't have to worry about chicks getting mad because everyone loves JR. But but the thing is with girls here, you get like two types.
That's right.
Okay, and you get these like I call them like the ones who have like the very nice views and the very nice, like you see them on Instagram. They live in the grey painted houses and all that. You know, they have like the blue water and whatever else. And the other ones who are just genuine people. They're just genuine people. You know, they're not models. They're not going to try to be. But you can go on Instagram today and you'll see girls who are trying to be models and have like these cute little captions like "got caught in the sun" or "whoops," and you're like. Alright, but yeah, you'll be like, okay,
come on,
bro.
honey, don't fucking flatter yourself here. Come on, bro. Nah, don't flatter yourself, bro.
Yeah, but then you get genuine women, and these women are like the backbone of our country. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones who aren't afraid to like say fuck you at the best of times. Like they're true and true. Like they're through and through women. You know?
Yeah, and there's just, as I say, I think there's just different views, different morals, just with different principles, different ethics. Like for girls here and the ones in Sydney, like, girls in Sydney, man, they're just fucking. I love them, but they're all just hoes, bro. Most of them are just hoes. Like they all they do is want to party, fucking dress up, take photos and shit, and like I don't mind that because I'm used to it. Like I've been looking at this shit since I was fucking. You know, since I got Instagram when I was fucking young, you know, that's all I've been looking at. All these chicks in Sydney are trying to act older than they actually are. They've been doing this for ages. So I'm used to it, you know. There's girls in those 15, 16, they're dressing up like they're about to go out to fucking, you know, the pub or go. No, I shouldn't say pub as such. I'll say the club. These girls dressing up 15, 16, dressing up like they're going to go to the club. Yeah. And they genuinely look like they're 18.
Yes.
It's crazy. Yes. The girls here, they don't look like they're 18. There's 15, 16. There's like one or two that I can name that are younger, 15, 16, that look like they're 18. None of them do. No. In Sydney, right, all of them look like they're 18. Yeah. And that's because they're all trying to act older than they are. Well, everyone is like, I'm not going to say they're immature, but they're like, they act their age. Yeah. To a degree. Yeah.
Yeah, like all the women I've come across, especially in Goulburn, I've come across a lot of great women. I really have. Okay. But you can, like, even girls know, like, it's like when I went to that party, alright, and we were in this party and I was talking to some people and like we can tell in the room who's a good person and who isn't. Yeah. And it's so blatant in your face. You're like, dude, look at you. Like you're standing out so fucking much. Like there's nothing you can like say about it. Like, these people stand out, and they do. If you try and like fake who you are or whatever, you stand out every time. Exactly. You stand out.
Yeah, you break the norm. You break your character. It's fucking so easy to see.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with that more. But yeah, there's a big difference between just people in general. Like the boys here, the boys are semi-different. They're different too. I think. To a degree, a lot of the boys here. I'm not pointing out names by any means, but I'm just saying a lot of the boys here are in the box. You know, I feel like they've only had experiences in the box. Now, this isn't for every single boy in Goulburn. There's obviously there are going to be different boys that have had different experiences in different places. Yeah. Correct, outliers. But I think as a whole, there's a lot of boys and girls for that matter that are just caught in the box.
In this clique.
This is all they know. This is all they've known, all they've seen.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I'm very interesting to come on your podcast because I've had a lot of experiences in other places, bro. So while a lot of people here, they know the box in the box only. They've only been inside it. They haven't left the box. It's like, you know, the Simpsons movie when they're caught in the fucking dome. That's what it's like. That's what it's like. They're all in the dome.
And you bring it, and the thing is, this is so interesting that you bring this up because my brother and myself, my dad, we've all come across this in our life so much because we bring that like that fresh perspective that you do outside the dome. We're like, hey, you know, outside this dome, there's like something much more better. Like better. Yeah, there's nothing better outside here. Nothing. Everything is perfect in it. Yeah.
Stuck here. Yeah, they love it.
It's called Glue Town for a reason, and I fucking hate that shit. I hate it. I can't stand it. Like for example, what I'm trying to say is, I love Noosa Heads, Queensland.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
It
That's a
is
beautiful place. Love
Okay,
the main
I
street.
love it. Yeah, like it is beautiful. It is a beautiful place. I have good friends in Noosa. Shout out to my man British Mafia, fucking Bodie, love you, bro. I have a lot of friends, a lot of good people up there. But this box that these people live in here, it's like you don't choose to live, you get trapped here. You get like sort of like it's like it's like this place is a hunter, and you're just like, you know, you're either a predator or you're a prey, and you just get got by it, you know.
Well, there, and I think to a degree, you got two different people as well. You got people that want to leave, and you got people that just want to stay. And there's no in between. There's no people that are thinking about leaving. There's other people that just genuinely want to get out of here, and there's people that just want to stay.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that's pretty big. Like you'll see that, and you'll notice that. There's a lot of people that it's, as you said, it's just somewhere where you're stuck. It's not like you can move around or anything. It's if you're in Goulburn, then you're in Goulburn, bro.
Goulburn, yeah.
Like if you're in Sydney, for example, or you don't, I don't have to sit here and use Sydney as an example for everything, but you could even say Melbourne or Gold Coast. There are heaps of little towns and cities nearby, but this is Goulburn, bro.
This is
It's
Goulburn.
like
It's
yeah, and there's so much more to see.
in the world. For
Yeah,
sure.
there's so many more things you can do. Like, I'm not sitting here shitting on everyone that's had the childhood experience in Goulburn, but I know for a fact, personally, growing up as a child in Sydney, that there is a whole lot more things to do in the city.
Oh yeah.
Mate, when I was in year 7, year 8, I used to go to the beach every day with all the people from school, and it was mad.
Beautiful.
We used to go do all this sorts of shit, like everything, you know. There's a whole lot more things to do in the city, and I feel sad for, well, not sad, but I feel empathetic to a degree that people here don't get to have this same experience that I did in the city. And that's why I'm very blessed, and I'm very thankful that I got to grow up in Sydney, you know.
Yeah, that's why the Goulburn has a massive underbelly. That's why it has this terrible, like, because like when we're like, I talked to one of my buddies, Trent Jeffrey. I think you know Trent. Yeah, good guy. We talked about the fact that Goulburn in certain areas, you know, the rough areas, are rough areas, like they're rough areas, like, and like like for example, Bogaria Flats got busted with the meth. Like there's places out there in Goulburn that are like rough and tumble because people get trapped here and like, what do I do? I don't want to do, you know, and then they start doing the drugs and all whatever else. And you get caught up in it. You really do.
Can't help it as well. I think then you're just a product of your surroundings, you know what I mean? But I will say, I've been to a few country places, or just a few places in general. This isn't the worst, bro.
No.
Like this, there is, everyone thinks, and I hope a lot of people listen to this point, especially if you're in Goulburn, because everyone thinks this place is full of crackheads and junkies. No, there is not. There's a lot of great people. If you ever been to Lithgow, you'll see something different, man. Lithgow is completely different fucking breeds of humans. There's a guy, because I was working up there for a bit, doing a bit of labour work up in Lithgow. There's a bloke who I'd see every morning. He'd pretend he was holding a torch. He's called Ronnie, and he was fucking running down the same road every day. He's called Ronnie, and he'd pretend to hold his torch, like Olympic torch, and just run down the road really fast. He's running as fast as my car. Then you have this bloke that looked like Jesus, but like blonde hair, and it was like put to the side, and he'd push his trolley with a bunch of blankets shit. Bro, I've seen some crazy shit in Lithgow. This place is beautiful compared to Lithgow.
Yeah, that's right.
This place is beautiful compared to Bankstown. This place is beautiful compared to Penrith and Mount Druitt and Redfern. Yes, Redfern, Heroin City.
Heroin City. Dude, I remember the first time I ever saw a junkie ever. We were going through Redfern, and I remember, and this guy was lying in the street, and he was praising whoever he was praising, with this needle just hanging out blatantly in his arm. He's just praising, he's looking at him, he's just praising and praising, and like he was like so grateful that he was in that gutter. I was like, the fuck, you know what I mean?
And that's probably just another product of their surroundings. Like, I think where you grow up is huge to who you become. I'm not, but I will say it is possible to break it, but you have to do the right things in order to break it. Like me, I've never had to break it because I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've grown up in I grew up in one of the most expensive areas in Sydney my whole life. And that's just how it was. That's how you can only play with the cards you dealt.
Yeah, that's right.
I got I probably got hit with a 20 in blackjack.
Nice.
Let's use blackjack as an example because I like gambling. I like using cards games.
I know you like gambling. I know that.
So yeah, I think my whole life I've been hit with a 20 and a 21 blackjack.
Wow.
You know, that's how those were the cards that I was dealt with when I was younger.
Yep.
And that's just how it was. My dad and my mum, they've had money. They're like not a whole lot of money, but they've had money.
Yep.
And then we've lived a financially stable life, and then obviously my stepfather's come into my life, and he has a lot of money, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie, he does. The restaurant does quite well, and I've just had pretty good cards I've been dealt with. Like, I've lived in fucking great life, and I've seen a lot of things, but I think for other people, for example, I could use anybody, but they don't have. They might get hit with a fucking 14 or 15. It's like, what are you gonna do with these cards? How you got to fucking make sure you make the right move here, because otherwise you're gonna go over, or otherwise you're gonna go under. So you got to make sure you hit the right fucking thing. You got to make sure you do the right move in order to get out of the shitty situation. Your 14, your 15 card in blackjack.
Yeah, well, Dan Bilzerian said gambling is like life in a way. Yeah, and like the thing is, if you like, look, to be honest, I am not a gambler. Like it is good. Yeah. I'm not a gambler. I'm really not. But I understand patterns. I understand how those things work.
Absolutely.
And those things, the thing that makes gambling appealing, is that you can win it all. Or like, you know, it's right in front of you, and it's like they're dangling like the meat before a crocodile. They're like, come on, get it. Like, you can get it. And like, it's like just, and the thing is, like, I think a lot of gamblers, high class gamblers, replace gambling for like highly like thrill seeking activities, because what gambling is, that rush, like, all right, I put 500 on this fight, and he's won it all, and that feeling of excitement. So you could probably substitute that for something equally as thrill seeking, like, but I don't know if that's your personality or not.
Yeah, well, look, I think gambling is a very interesting prospect to make money. I mean, shit, I'm not going to sit here and act like... I've had wins and I've had losses. Everyone comes up to me and they're like, oh, how much you lost? That's none of their fucking business. I could be up. Right. I could be up 500. I could be down 500. I could be up 1,000. I could be down 1,000. I know what it is, and I can tell you it's not fucking down by much.
Yeah.
So it's fine. If you're in a financial situation, do it. I think it's fine, but I think it's, as you said, it's such an interesting prospect to make money, and as you said, it's just like dangling by a fucking string, you know, this idea of winning it all, and I think, as I said, it's so interesting, like the fact that a fucking animal could dictate whether you win, and racing in particular is much more interesting prospect than sports, I reckon, because there's people that are gambling on how an animal feels, and what this animal is going to do, like... I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Me and Brado, we do the greys often. We do the greys pretty often. We had a good September. We had a pretty rough October. But anyways, yeah,
oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We had a rough October. But I think now you look at it in hindsight, it's like you're literally gambling on how a greyhound feels and its ability to run faster than other greyhounds and horses as well. You know, October, it's been very interesting. It's been spring season, obviously, spring carnival for horses. And a lot of the big horses haven't won, you know, like Nature Strip, Animo, all these big horses that are, you know, we condemn them as the fucking superstars of horse racing. They haven't won. They haven't got up. They've been very quiet this spring carnival, and it's just goes back to my point again that you're betting on how an animal feels. You don't know how that animal feels. It could feel fucking shit. It could be shitty. You know, I might have diarrhea or something, you know. Might have had bad sleep. Sports is different, because if a player doesn't feel good, they might sit on the bench. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to use Man City.
But you can see that in ESPN, where they come out and they go like, "Oh, this player's feeling this," and they can't. And so you have a bit of insight.
Yeah.
No one's telling you how the fucking horse feels.
Exactly.
Who's sitting there going like, "Oh, you know, the horse feels like this." But yeah, no. With sport, I think like I wanted to do a pick'em thing. Because I can. I did it one of those like free to play pick'em things. I was hitting them on the dime. I knew it was up. I was on the level. But the thing is, sport's different, because if I was ever gonna bet, I'd bet on sport.
Yeah, because you can make calculated bets on there. Like, now before I'm gonna talk to you about my Melbourne Cup experience. I done analytically the best bet possible.
Wow.
And it didn't win. But that was the best analytically bet you could do. Like, it was a 7.8% edge, which means that all the bookies didn't believe that it was the right price. This thing is one of the most consistent horses. It was an import from England.
Obviously.
It was one of the most consistent horses, and it was one of the most consistent runners at the distance, which is huge because it's 3,200 meters. You want a horse that's proven at the distance. This thing was proven at the distance, and it was proven to win at the distance, and it was proven on the soft ground, which was I think it was soft. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was a soft ground at Flemington because it was wet. This thing was fucking proven it. And in UK, obviously, it's quite wet. It's a wet country. So this thing knows how to run in the wet. This thing was the best possible bet you could probably do. Like, analytically speaking, by chance, this thing was the best. But you can't bet on by chance because this thing come fucking 7th. Yeah, it was called Without a Fight, and I can tell you, it went out without a fucking fight. It went out without a fucking fight.
No.
Like, it's just all by chance because you don't know. I think the launch of when the horse jumps dictates whether a horse is going to win or not. Yeah. Same with the greyhound.
Yeah.
Like,
who's out of the gate?
It's all about who gets out of the gate consistently. I've noticed. Yep. Like, if you have a 1, say I'm going to use a greyhound reference here. So obviously with greyhounds you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 dogs. I always go for the 1 or the 8 because they get a clear jump.
Okay.
When you get the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's a bit iffy because they're caught in that little fucking. They get caught in the mash. 1 or 8, if they get a good clean jump, they're winning.
Oh, every jump.
Yeah. Okay. If they're a consistent performer and they're decent, they don't have to be the best dog. If they're a decent dog and they get a good jump from the 1, they're gonna go on and win it because the rest of them are gonna get caught up in the shit fight. Yeah. Unless there's a very good dog and the 5 or the 6 that just fucking jumps straight away, very good, and just goes. Horses are the same. I think I know the only downfall of my one, it was jumped from the a shit alley, not alley as such, but like a shit help me out here, like from like it was in a shit area from where it jumped. Like obviously all of them line up. Mine was like. The interesting thing about my one is where it was jumping from. It was the same one as the Melbourne Cup winner, Very Elegant. It jumped from the exact same. I think it was number 18. And Very Elegant one from there. So there was everything suggesting this thing was going to win. And it just didn't. Because if you go by chance and you go off by the best analytical bet, it still doesn't. You have a 25% chance of your best analytic bet winning. Wow. That's what I honestly reckon. But with sports, as you were saying, it's different. Like you can do 80%. The most. Yeah. Your most analytically smart bet, say it's Melbourne Storm to win against the Tigers. Yeah. And the Tigers, let's say, have a very weak left edge and a really shitty winger. You're obviously going to bet on Addo to fucking score.
That's
2
right.
odds. Yeah,
that's right.
That's a very smart analytic bet, and then it's probably going to kick over. Horses, you can't do that as such because you don't know how that thing's feeling on the day. You don't know what the other horses have been training like. You can go off of what the trainers are and who they are. Like I know that whenever James McDonald, oh no, not James McDonald, that's the jockey. But speaking of, whenever James McDonald rides a horse, I typically bet on it.
Okay.
But James Cummings, whenever he trains a horse, I know, okay, this is probably a well-trained horse. But then that doesn't mean it's going to go out there and win. It's only fucking, but it can win depending on how it feels on the day. That is what horse, fucking not just horse, just racing is in general. How it feels on the day. Yeah. One thing could feel great. One thing could feel fucking awesome, but that doesn't. But yeah, and then your favorite might feel like shit, and then might go on and win it.
Yeah. So, do you believe this is back in the? I'm going to take you on a bit of a history lesson here. Sure. Al Capone, Scarface, the Chicago outfit, the biggest gangster I've ever seen on the planet. Yeah. He was in touch and had influence and everything, and they think, he had a Capone's law that is in horse betting. Capone's law.
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, well, Capone's law only applies in America, obviously. Yeah. Where if you bet, if you bet over $100,000 on a horse that is an underdog and wins, the payout is $1 million and cannot be any less under Capone's law. Because what he did once, he went into a horse racing event and he put $100,000 on, like, I think it was it was like Shadow Whisperer or some weird name. It was a really weird name. It was a black horse, and it won. Yeah. And then he said, because he was extorting the business, obviously, he goes, like, if you give me $1 million, and he gave him $1 million. He went to Chicago. He went to Illinois state jury and passed Capone's law, which is if you bet 100 G's, the payout is $1 million.
Yeah, right. Oh, see, I haven't heard of that. I know that obviously, well, that'd be like a $10 bet in Australia. Yeah. So if you put $100,000 on a bet and you want $1 million, then you would put it on a $10 horse, which is not terrible odds for a horse. Like, $10 horse could very much go on and win it. I think anything over $12 is a bit far fetched. Typically when I'm on the horses, greyhounds especially, because greyhounds sometimes it's showcasing another dog's ability and what this dog could potentially do. So they get shit dogs in there, and I'm very certain most of the time these dogs won't go on and win it. Horses sometimes. Dogs, very, very rarely are you going to see a shit one get up, because it's just straight up its ability. It doesn't have the ability. While horses are very similar matching abilities, but some are obviously better than others. But they're all kind of, there'll be outliers, of course, but they're all very similar in regards to their ability. And there'll be the outliers, as I said. But one horse might not have the best ability, but if it fucking kicks one day, it'll kick. Greyhounds, no. Greyhounds it won't.
Yeah. Animal betting is weird to me.
It's fucked.
It is fucked. It is really fucked up because it's really weird. But like, everyone I think gambles at some point in their life. They really do. And you have to think like I reckon like back in the day when they were like hunting like bison and shit.
Yeah.
That was real gambling with your life. Like that
that
was real. Yeah. That's when they got the thrill going on. But you know there used to be a thing called horse diving in the 1820s.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they used to get these horses and take them up like 15 feet and make them jump. And people was horse diving. It's a real thing. Jude's kind of blown away, so naturally I've got to just show him what I'm talking about. Horse diving is a real thing. I had to show my girlfriend this too. She was like, "What the fuck are you talking?" She loves horses. Okay, I said, "Honey, this is what they used to do to horses," and she goes, "No way."
Horse diving. So wait,
horse diving
jumps from 15 feet.
You have a jockey on that motherfucker too. Here we go. Diving horse. Diving horse is an attraction that was popular in the mid 1880s. Sorry, which is a horse would dive into a pool of water, sometimes high as 60 feet. Look at this shit, dude. So they used to have a horse.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But they never got it. Like, okay, so
what's the point of that? Watching a horse jump.
It's the gamble. Will he survive?
Oh, will he survive?
Yeah. So they used to gamble on that. And in the 1880s, like a good solid bet was like $100. If someone had $100, they're like a millionaire, because they were like, whoa.
Well, it's different, yeah.
Yeah. So this one story is an outlier. It was 1882, and this guy from Argentina gets on this horse, and they put $500 on that this guy was going to die. There was no symbol. I think it was from 65 feet, and this guy was going to die. Anyway, on the way down, he just flipped them off, and he lived. He lived. He broke his arm, but he lived. But you know, I think no horses ever got injured. But I think there was one time when they stopped it. They did stop it. I think it was the 1890s. It was in 1890 when they stopped it. It was after a terrible accident where. Well, not an accident. They kind of fucking knew what they were doing. It was 75 feet, the highest they've ever done it.
Fuck.
I know. It's a huge way to go. So this guy's on the horse. He falls off the horse, and if you hit water at that speed, you could break your legs.
Yeah,
he broke his legs, and the horse broke its leg and drowned. But they chalked it up as not a casualty because. It had like some disease, so it was already dying. So I thought it was fair game. I was like, Jesus, like that's ruthless.
Well, now that brings up another thing. I think racing can be corrupt as well. Like I know they were going to cancel greyhound racing in New South Wales because there was a lot of corrupt tactics happening. Like what they'd do with the greyhounds is they'd fill up their bellies, so they would have more weight. Then they'd pump out the water. And obviously the odds are going to be higher because the dog's got a lot more weight in it. Because it's a heavier dog. So obviously the odds are going to fucking skyrocket. And then they're going to pump the water out the dog. And then obviously it has a chance of winning at fucking $110 or $100.
That's terrible. Do you know what they used to do to the fucking racehorses?
Fuck shit.
Yeah, but they used to get untapped syrup that you get in Slurpees. That sugar syrup, and let them drink it, and they used to send them fucking wild. That's what they used to do. And they used to be terrible for your heart. It fucking kills them. They win one or two races, they're dead. But what they used to do is like just with the same with the dogs. They used to go like, all right, this horse has no chance of winning. Yada yada yada. Jack it up full of syrup and send him on his way.
Exactly. It's fucked. I think animals were just even in general, you know. I think we take animals for granted. We fucking use the cunts in bad ways, like even during the war, like in World War One, World War Two, and shit. When we were using the horses. Horses just got fucking shot and shit, bro. Or you can go even back further, like to the Ottoman Empire and all those fucking times, you know, back in the day, like Genghis Khan, exactly. That was who I was thinking of. All those people used horses, and they all copped the fucking shit end of the stick. They're all getting shot, and for what?
Oh, you know Genghis Khan. This is interesting. Genghis Khan, he's an interesting bloke. He has so many facts that are fucking crazy. But one of them, his roads, every single road he rode down, he made himself. And they go, why is he making all these roads? And he goes, I'm not making roads. It's my gravesites. He'd kill people and lay them out. Like, just have all the dead people in a row.
I didn't know this. No, I didn't know this.
Yeah. He used to have all these dead people, and like every person he killed was added to like a road that he wanted to make, and he used to put like dirt and shit over it and write over it, and he'd be like, he goes, even in the afterlife, I'm still going to trample on these people because I fucking disrespect them. Like, he didn't care, and like he made up like 16% of the Mongolian population or something. Like,
that's right. I think 1 out of 7. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure like 1 out of 7, 1 out of 8 are related to Genghis Khan.
Yeah, and
fucked so many chicks.
Crazy story. He used to burn down the villages. If you were a hot looking lady, you were kept alive. Everyone else died. He used to burn it down, and then they used to go salt it. And they go, what? And put salt on it. They go, why do you put salt on it? Because if you salt it, nothing will grow. In Mongolia, there is patches and patches and patches of just nothingness. Yeah, like just greenery. It's just nothingness now. That's where he conquered. Like there's just massive patches where I remember this one guy was a tourist in Mongolia, and he went over and he stepped on a sacred land. Yeah. He was killed on sight. They didn't give a fuck, because he just walked onto this. He goes, "Oh, there's a place for a picnic." Oh. Dooms. This day it was like poof, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's fucking it's a crazy time that is, you know. And then we all sit here and complain about our day.
Oh my god,
fucking hell. You know, Joe Rogan once said this. I think it was said by someone earlier than him, but he said that hard times create hard people. Hard people create soft times. Soft times create soft people. Soft people create hard times.
Yeah.
Now it's quite obvious what we're in at the moment. I think it's soft people creating hard times. You know, we're about to create some hard times. Like,
oh yeah.
Imagine half these cunts out here, bro. Imagine sending them to a war at the moment.
Oh my god.
They're all fucking trying to figure out what their gender is and what.
Yes.
Yeah, they're trying to figure this out. What their gender is. They're trying to figure out. You know, or fucking fight for all this bullshit, like protesting for, well, you know, gay rights, transgender rights, and all this shit. Like, imagine we had to send these people to war. So, on our side, what's going to happen?
Yeah,
they're not hard people.
No.
You know what? People can go do what they want. They can protest what they want. That's part of the Constitution. You know, it's fucking freedom of speech. You know, they can go do what they want. That's not my business. They want to go protest for the gay rights. I mean, we're in a time where they should be happy that we're at this point. Like, think about it. Back in the day, gays used to get pushed off the cliff in Bondi, like 1980s. They used to shove gays off the cliff. They'd be getting killed, bro.
Yeah.
And now we're moving into a time where it's more accepting, like, and people getting cancelled and shit for saying like the simplest of things about it. Like, these people should be grateful that we're here. You know.
Yeah. Like when they do Mardi Gras and stuff. Yeah, when they get to this point, like people, like I couldn't believe this. They went after an actor, one of those famous, like I think it was like Frank Sinatra Jr. or someone who grew up in the fucking time when you can hit women and all that stuff, like in a bad time. And they were going, like, he's insanely homophobic. It's like, what do you expect? These guys grew up in a society that said different time. And the thing is like I think it's great, by the way. I think it's great they do Mardi Gras. I think it's great that they let everybody know.
Awesome
I think it's great. I really do.
And what it does is it connects straight people and gay people. It gets them together.
Yeah, it makes a community.
Yeah. I think it's great. And I have nothing against gay people.
Nothing.
The only thing I have against them is the way they are fighting for their rights. I don't think
Okay, so what you're trying to say, like the people in the gay community who are like the extremists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
well, every
like
community have
feminists
one.
and shit. Like,
Yeah, the
come on, man,
extremists.
you're doing it the wrong way. Like, there's certain ways to do things. How they do it is not the right way. And as Dave Chappelle said, they need a male leader. I think that.
Well,
That's what he reckons, and I
well,
think to a degree that's right. To a degree, I think that's wrong. I think you can challenge both sides of that. I can see how that would work because as males, they don't command more respect, but they do. If that makes sense.
yeah, well, that's right. Like that's why Hillary Clinton struggled in the political race.
Absolutely.
Because if you go back and listen to what she says, it's not too bad. It's not a bad outcome. It's the fact that I think it's like if you got a fat dude and you put him on a stand and he had a microphone and he said like, "Hey, listen up," you'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah,
listening.
you pay
I'm listening. I'm
attention.
paying attention." If you had like, but it's the same on the same coin. If you had Marilyn Monroe on a stage and she was talking to you,
Yeah.
you're paying a fucking attention. You know what I mean?
You know what that's actually called? It's called the halo effect. So obviously, the halo effect means that you pay attention or you listen to someone that has a high degree of power or high degree of stardom.
Yeah.
So it's like if, let's say, Brad Pitt told everyone. No, that's actually not a bad example. I'm going to use a real life example. Leonardo DiCaprio told everyone that climate change is real.
Yes.
Everyone is going to, well, not everyone, but a whole lot of people is going to sit there and say, "Oh my God, Leonardo DiCaprio said climate change is real. It must be real." That's called the halo effect, and that's basically because someone with power or someone with stardom that is looked up to or is influential has said something, and everyone sits there and believes what they say.
Yeah, that's
So
right. That's right.
that's another thing we're moving into. Like I fucking love Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's the man's a machine. Some of his movies he's made have been incredible. Like Wolf of Wall Street was great, but man, he's not a scientific.
No, you
He's not a
can't. You
science
can't.
man,
You can't change those two over. People keep saying Dwayne Johnson should run for president. Okay.
Nah.
Guess what? Dwayne Johnson isn't a fucking politician.
He's not a politician.
He's not.
No.
He's an incredible actor, celebrity,
correct.
and he's a businessman.
He's a businessman.
He's a businessman. Donald Trump is a businessman.
He's a good
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the
goes
thing.
into another point.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. A lot of people get misconstrued about Donald Trump because
Western
everyone.
media.
Yeah. Because they try and do a hatchet job. They're like, he's this, he's that, he's that. Fun fact: the quotes that you hear from Donald Trump, like the ones where what he said about the Islamic people and the Mexicans, none of that actually happened. If you go look at, like, I did a bit of research. Like, I'm not a MAGA guy. I'm not one of his followers, but I can definitely say that some of the things that he's been accused of have not been real.
Yeah.
The Mexican wall thing.
That's what they do.
Yeah. The Mexican wall thing. Everyone knows, like, Donald Trump says he's going to keep the Mexicans out. That is so not true. What happened was there was a hole in the Austin border into Mexico. There was a hole in the border in Mexico, and he goes, "I want to just patch that up and say no one builds a wall like Trump." It was a promotion for his fucking business.
Yeah.
And then the Western media comes in, they go, "He wants to keep the Mexicans out," and they just blew it out of proportion.
Well, that's what happens.
And then after that, they went on to say the whole Islamic thing where he's going to number everyone that comes in. That once again he did not say that at all. He said, "Why don't we get identifier numbers for everyone who comes in and out of the country so we can use it for the census, for the amount of money outflow or something." Once again, I'm not pro Trump, but I'm definitely saying that he has been. There's a few things that aren't full, aren't cooked meat. You know what I mean? Like,
about Donald Trump is he commands power. Like he's someone he's just a source of power. Like, I'm going to tell you something, and this is very true.
Okay.
Putin doesn't attack Ukraine if Trump's in power.
That's right. Yes. No, that's true, because do you remember when so ISIS was going on a rampage killing a lot of American soldiers. Donald Trump got a drone, found the leader's house and sent a photo of his house to him and said, "If we lose a single soldier in the next 6 months, we are going to remove you from this planet."
For 3 years straight, Donald Trump didn't lose a soldier.
Didn't lose a soldier.
And he didn't, this is also an alarming fact that a lot of people would not think, but there was not a single war that Donald Trump was engaged in.
That's right.
During that time.
That's right. He made
Not
friends
a single
with Kim Jong-un.
war.
Yeah, he made friends with Kim Jong-un. He made friends with Vladimir Putin. He made friends with every single nuclear scientist on the planet. And the thing is that people don't really understand. They get wrapped up.
Understand his way of power. He doesn't understand that he has to demonstrate himself and present himself as someone that, is powerful and strong, and someone that's willing to press a button, because when you have someone that's willing to press a button, or at least portray themselves as someone that's willing to press a button, then it commands power, commands fear amongst other people. So Putin knows damn well, fucking, he decides to fuck up, Trump's gonna come for him.
That's right.
He knows that he's gonna hold him in like this bag. But with Biden's useless, man. Biden is a fucking idiot. And guess what? We got one of ourselves in Albanese. I think he's a spastic too. But
have you seen them do their press releases? Have you seen them when they just go on their press releases and they come out and they're like in the middle, they're in the middle of saying something and they forget it and they go, oh, forget it. And you're like,
Biden just gets meaned on. Like, have you seen him? Like, the amount it is ridiculous how a president could have so many videos of him fucking up during talk, like when he's during speeches and shit.
And the amount, also,
how is there so many?
Yeah, and also the racism too. Okay, everyone comes out, Trump's a racist, Trump's a sexist. There was two clips of Donald Trump. Two that there's two that are very big. Joe Biden has at least 5 or 6.
Yeah.
5 or fucking 6.
5 or 6. And just the fact that there's so many videos of him like slurring and like just fucking up his words and sentences. This man is supposed to run one of the biggest country in the world. He's one of the biggest power sources in the world. Like, this man is not, he's fucking useless.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge reason why Putin went in there and actually attacked Ukraine. Well,
because he knew he could.
He knew he could. He knew he could. And there's a whole lot of reasons Russia wants Ukraine, and it's not because they want to start up the USSR again. That is not true.
They want that. They want that land. And they want that oil.
It's a very great source of land. It's one of the best agricultural lands there, full of rich soil, full of uranium. It's got all the good shit.
It does.
And they also want it because Zelensky, who I don't think is a bad president, but I think he was an actor as well. I don't think it was the best move to put him in. I don't mind the bloke, but I don't think it was the best move to put him in because, he was an actor and all, and he's not a politician as such.
Well, yeah, they get dogged. These politicians. The reason why I pulled it back was because these actors who come in. Donald Trump was another one who said he would have ran as an independent party. Yeah. If he could have, if it worked. But it doesn't work. So you have to choose a side. So he went Republican because that's what he grew up around. Republicans, naturally speaking, are rednecks, not very nice people.
Yeah,
they're not.
Of course.
But Donald Trump said I had to be president, so he had to use the Republican way in through the door. So this president in the Ukraine, I'm sure, had to choose one of the two big parties and had to portray himself as whatever he chose.
Well, he's Western media, or not, I shouldn't say Western media based, but he's Western society based.
Yeah.
And apparently that what's been happening is I think it was after the Cold War or after World War II, one of the wars, the NATO agreed not to go any more east, right?
Okay, yeah.
And ever since they've been going east, they got Bulgaria, Poland, Hungary, all these other countries, right? Czech Republic, all these countries. They've been moving eastwards. All these countries from that Balkan area. And what's happened now is they're right on Russia's doorstep because they've got so many countries, and they were not allowed to. And apparently, Russia legally tried to stop this, but America just fucking vetoed it because they're powerful like that. They can veto the law, and they've just kept going eastwards. And then the last fucking step, or the last stand, you could say, was Ukraine. And since Zelensky is Western based, he was thinking of joining NATO, and then Russia said no. It's time we intervene. Now, I'm not saying I approve of Russia's actions. I don't, but I can understand why they're attacking if that NATO thing is true, because NATO is on their back door and it breaks their way of life. Just like we wouldn't be happy if Russia kept moving westwards, and they kept and they were promoting their way of life. Let them live their way of life. Let us live our way of life. That's how it should work. Yeah. They do that communist thing. We do our Western thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. Like, JFK had a big thing about that. He got busted with, I think it was 6 prostitutes in one night in the Oval Office. Yeah. Like, he was a party animal. If you don't know this, JFK was actually a huge party animal. Yeah, himself to Marilyn Monroe. He was a party animal. Basically, one night he gets hammered or whatever, and he sees in Cuba that they're doing their pro they're doing their pro communism party. And because he's hammered, he's like, we gotta take back Cuba. And then the Cold War just went out of fucking disproportionate proportions.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, it just blew up.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, as I said, you know, if all parties just done their own way of life, it would have been fine. But you know, of course, America got scared. I can understand why, with all the spies coming in during the 1950s and the Red Scare movement and the McCarthy movement. But yeah, if all parties just agreed to do their own thing, then it would be fine. But if I really hope it doesn't come to it, but there could well be war. It's there's been times where they've come fucking close, like the Russians supplied North Vietnam with weapons and shit.
Yeah.
They were the source of weapons and everything. They didn't actually engage with the United States during the Vietnam War, but the fucking Communist Party, Russia, they supplied North Vietnam with all these weapons and tanks and all. Yeah. And that made it fucking very hard for the Americans to win. Hence why they actually didn't win. They had to leave. And then they had to fucking put Agent Orange everywhere and fuck everyone up. God. But, I mean, yeah, if we all accepted that everyone wants to do their own way of life and just not, if there wasn't such a fear of communism in the Western world and there wasn't many like spies and shit, then it would have been fine. But everyone was so hysterical and paranoid about all these fucking spies and shit, and communism coming into their way of life, because America was very Christianated. It was a very Christian society. Yeah. Communism breaks the Christian society. Everyone was worried that religion was going to fucking die if communism come to America, and all the ways of American life will go. So that was the big scare, and I think John McCarthy fucking just instilled a bunch of apparently fucking fear and hysteria into everyone.
Yeah, well, that's right. Like, also, you go to America, what's America known for? Yeah. Freedom.
Exactly.
Freedom. Capitalism. Freedom. Come on.
Freedom, exactly right.
But there's an old saying, freedom started in 1776. You know what I mean? But the thing is, with communism, it's a very controlled society.
It is.
It's a very controlled society, and we know for a fact, we know so many people who are fucking wild horses. Yeah. If Australia went to communist tomorrow, a lot of us wouldn't be able to take it.
Oh, no.
No, it wouldn't be able to take it, and I wouldn't. Fuck no. I wouldn't be able to take that.
Yeah, fuck that. I can see how, look, it's so interesting. The only way where we could truly see if it worked or not is if we implemented it in Australia, but I don't see it ever happening. It won't ever happen unless there's a fucking war and the Western society loses the war and communist wins. And then Australia would be a communist society. But I don't see a realm where that will ever happen. But we don't really know if communism will work in Australia, but I'm going to say it wouldn't. I mean, fucking the people here definitely wouldn't take it. No, I know that for a fact.
Even let's take it back to the Aboriginals of this country. They had different nations in the one place, and they went to war.
Yeah,
like they went to war with each other.
That's what
like
in Africa they did that too. You know,
yeah.
The Rwandan people started killing each other, like the Zulus and the Zulus and the I can't think of the other people, but all of them fucking fight each other, just like you said, in like Australia. The indigenous people all fought with each other in their different states. That's what happened in Africa as well. They just all fight each other.
Yeah, they're like different nations. They didn't fuck around. Like, like that's the thing with the with a lot of people don't understand is like the everyone was like, it must have been so much more peaceful back in the day. Nothing. Absolutely. This is the most peaceful time we've ever seen in our life.
Absolutely.
This is the pinnacle of peace. Everyone's like, what? Like, there was no peace. Okay, there was no peace. Like, if you were, let's say you came to Australia in the 1800s, okay? If you came to Australia in the 1800s, you had to kill at least 5 people a day to make your day. Like, you know what I mean? That was just the way it went. 1900s was no different. You were in the 1900s and early 1900s, and you had to sign up for the war. It was a must. You had to sign up for the war, or else you were getting got. Like,
100% was conscription. That's right. But let's think about every demographic or every contingent of people that feel targeted in today's society, and let's compare it to today's world than it was back in the day. Okay. So obviously, a big one is the LGBTQ community. As I mentioned before, these people were getting shoved off cliffs. They were getting, killed, murdered. There was some shit happening to gay people back in the days. Now they're allowed to get married. I'm not saying it's all there, but I mean, we're moving into a time where it's more accepting, and they shouldn't know about, not a single LGBTQ member should say this is the worst time to be an LGBTQ community member.
No way.
This is the best for
This is
sure.
the best.
And then you can go into the African American Society. But you know, we had a BLM movement, and don't get me wrong, it's nowhere near as at its best, of course, and there's never will be. It never will be, because it's just how the world works. You can only move so far forward, but you move back a couple of years, these people were slaves. These people were getting lynched.
Yes.
And now that it's improving, you just gotta wait. It's improving more. Just be patient. We're
back.
moving into a time where it's more accepting. It's more opinionated.
Let's go back to when we were alive, 2011.
Yeah.
2011, okay? 2011, there was more gang violence in the US than the US has ever seen. And
Correct.
also, they also had the LGBT community. It was the worst time they've ever had to live in, where they had the social media, they had all these different things. But like you said, the lynchings, okay? In California, there was two gay guys who were walking down the street one day, and they got done from two. They were making out. They were hiding from everybody, making out. Yeah. As you do. And these I think it was like 16 gangsters came out, and they cut them up and killed them, and in their blood said "Send me to hell" or something on the road. Yeah. Like where the LGBT community is now. They're in the pinnacle of society, and it's good. And the thing is, it's like
it's never going to be perfect.
No, because it's not gonna be, like, you know.
Yeah, you just got to take it for what it is and accept that it's slowly going to get better. It's never going to be at its best, and you just got to. I mean, yeah. You just got to understand that, you know, we're moving into a time where it's becoming more accepted, whether that's LGBTQ, whatever. I probably got that wrong. The African American BLM movement, which was all bullshit, by the way.
What?
BLM.
How do you mean it's all bullshit?
You know, there's a lot of...
Don't just leave that.
Yeah. No. Now, I understand, like, I think the actual party, the BLM party, was corrupt because a lot of money was made out of BLM, and it was very corrupt.
Right.
I like the movement that... the Black Lives Matter, of course, they're more important, and everyone makes jokes about it, but they should be as equal as us, you know, 110%. But the BLM party was very corrupt. There was a lot of money being made. They fucked up a lot of businesses. Oh, okay. Yeah, they done a lot of destructive things.
Yeah, well, when you say like a thing like that is corrupt, but BLM was a great movement because after George Floyd and such, where like they've just had enough. Like they've been through this shitter. Obviously,
they've done it wrong.
They've done it wrong. That's right.
Done it the wrong way.
That's
just
right.
Like they've been doing the whole time.
Yeah, but.
And I'm not talking about just African Americans BLM. I'm talking about a lot of those movements. They've all been doing it the wrong way.
Yes, but what the thing was, there's been so much turbulence. You look at Martin Luther King, the peaceful protester. He wanted to make everybody friends. It was a good way to go. Malcolm X came into power. He said, "Look, fuck this noise. I'll take you in a scrap, bitch." And then they were like, and that proved all those racist guys right. Yeah. They deemed him as a threat, and then Malcolm X was like, "Well, you want a threat? I'll make you a threat, bitch." And so Martin Luther King had a good way of going about it. Of course. And because he was winning in Atlanta, Georgia, when he was winning, he went to a hotel and he was sleeping on his own. And one of those KKK members came up to a window, got some sort of sniper, and got him clean in the head. But because Malcolm X was a threat, they didn't actually assassinate him. Because they said, "Oh, he's proven us right. So if he's proven us right, we'll let him live." Martin Luther King was proving them wrong. That's why they killed him. Exactly. And Mark Wahlberg talks about it, because Mark Wahlberg, when he was younger, he was a gangster and such, and he got arrested for racist crimes. Yeah. But he goes out and he said, "Well, when we were growing up, if you didn't do that, you would go home and get fucked up. If you didn't be racist, you would get got because he was 1 in 10 or 1 in 11, and one of his brothers stopped a kid from getting hit by rocks from one of his brothers helped a black kid out in a fight. Yeah. And everyone at his school heard about it, and he got stabbed because of it. Like, it was like, what the fuck?
Well, that's right. But you know, we're moving in today's world where it's all better for everyone. Not perfect, but we're becoming a more opinionated society, which I think is also dangerous. Yeah, I think it's very dangerous that everyone I fully believe freedom of speech, and I think everyone should have their own views. But I think with too many opinions, it becomes dangerous.
Too many cooks. Too many cooks. Too many cooks in the kitchen. For example,
Correct.
like Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz is one of the funniest comedians on the planet.
Yeah.
Some of the things he says are outrageous.
Yeah.
Some of the things he's done are out. He went to prison for them. Okay, he's not a hug cuddly guy. You know Chelsea Peretti from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No, I'm not really watching it.
Oh, she's Gina. I don't like her. Yeah. I really don't. She goes after Joey Diaz. Something he did in like the 90s, where he was like on a bunch of coke, and he sexually abused a girl.
Yeah.
And he went to prison. He's done his rehabilitation. He doesn't do coke anymore, or whatever. And he's like, must be 70s, 80s now. He's an old boy. But she tried to pin him for something like that, and he goes, I don't even remember doing that. And he goes like, he doesn't condone what he did, but she tried to like make a big deal out of it, and like she tried to like. Well, the thing is, with a lot of people with opinions, they try and, because if we have a room full of 100 people,
that's right.
3-4 of them are going to be fucking idiots.
Correct.
They're going to be, every single time we walk in, there's going to be idiots. Like if you have, and then so on a broader stage, if you have 1 million fans, 1,000 of those fans are going to be fucking stupid.
Correct.
Every time. So if you have, Chelsea Peretti has a lot of fans online, and they're just like, yeah, get after Joey Diaz and stuff. Like, what? Like, you know, like, and then, but on the broader stage too, if you're Dwayne Johnson and you have 300 million, you have a large following,
Halo effect.
Yeah, you'll have 30,000 fucking idiots.
Correct.
Who are just gonna voice the wrong, and they're gonna voice all these wrong ideas and stuff, and it's like I don't. The thing is with the opinions, like everyone's right to an opinion.
Correct. Everyone has the right to an opinion, but it just becomes dangerous when everybody starts voicing them, and because we lose order, as I said, we lose order, and it just turns into fucking anarchy. Like we're not at a point of anarchy yet, but I mean the way it's going, everyone's getting cancelled for having their own fucking views and shit. Like,
the thing is, they can't cancel the guys who are too big to fail, but they try to
contradict each other. Like it just contradicts it. Like we all want our own views and opinions, and then when people have their own views and opinions, they get shut down.
Yes.
So like Andrew Tate. Like, I think he's a very interesting one.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Andrew Tate. No, but I'm not. The thing is, I'm an open-minded person. So
that's like me.
Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's, the devil. But I am going to tell you that I don't agree with some of the things he said. But from his experiences, that's what he's going to tell you. He's only going to tell you what he knows. And it's the same. Like, I don't like Jake Paul. I really dislike Jake Paul. I do. Okay, but he can only act from his experience and what he knows too. So he's only as dumb as his surroundings. And
that's right.
Yeah, and but his brother Logan too, also a dead shit in my mind, because they're both really, really big dead shits, and they act like they're the king of Hollywood, but they got famous from being fuckwits.
Yeah, well,
that's what they got famous for. Like Steve, Steve-O from Jackass. Yeah. He is one of the best celebrities you can look at, because he owns up to he got famous from being a fucking idiot.
Correct.
So he's still a fucking idiot. It hasn't changed. Yeah. Like
switch up.
No. And now Jake Paul, who was a dipshit, now wants to be a boxer. Dude, that's not how that goes.
That's an interesting topic, whether Jake Paul can actually box or not. That's very
100% can't. No way.
See, I was convinced. Oh no, I wasn't very convinced the first few fights. I still think he needs to fight a proper boxer, because at the moment he's been fighting very strange fighters.
Fucking nobodies. Dude, they made a big deal out of him and Ben Askren. Do you know what Ben Askren's
Ben Askren is one of the best wrestlers ever, but he's not a fucking fighter. He's not a boxer.
Do you know what Ben Askren is famous for?
Yeah, well,
getting knocked out by George Masvidal. Getting the knee to the fucking head. Yeah. So he's an amazing wrestler. Ben Askren,
great. He's one of the best wrestlers on the ground.
But his stand-up is not to be admired.
If you watch his fights, the first thing he does is try to go for the takedown
every time,
and then he fucking gets him on the ground. He doesn't strike. He can't strike. So it was pathetic for him to call out Ben Askren. Tyron Woodley, even he's a wrestler.
Tyron Woodley is a wrestler.
He can strike.
He's his right-hander.
Oh, his right hand is fucking powerful. He knocked out Lawler with it. But
that's right.
But he's still a wrestler. He's not a boxer.
But the thing is, this is where it gets interesting. He calls out Ben Askren. Askren gets knocked out. But the video of Askren getting knocked out, you can clearly see a signal in Jake's head where he does the nod, and then Askren goes, "Oh, okay." Tonk.
Woodley's fist. Paul's fist during the fight. The Woodley fight. Have you seen when he twists his fist?
Yes. Yeah. And but another thing that everyone gets too, Jake Paul comes out every fight and he's already wet. There's water on him, and
that's interesting.
Do you know why? So slips the fight also because you can see impact.
Yeah.
If Jude punches me and he's sopping wet, and he punches me, you'll see all the water spray everywhere and it'll look like it's a massive hit. But Tyron Woodley, if you watch the video where he gets knocked out, he walks up to it. Yeah. He doesn't put his hands up or anything. He puts his hand cleanly down.
Yeah, he puts his hand down. You see the little twist movement. He puts his hand down and then he cops it and he just drops down. But then what's interesting is a few months later he's on his podcast. What the fuck would he be on his podcast?
I don't understand. The money. They get money because Tyron Woodley came out and said he had some money issues. So Jake Paul goes, "Oh, he has some money issues? Let's make that a big clause." If they did a read of his contracts with Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
And they had in the clauses, you must take a dive. Like loosely phrased, you must take, like in loose terms, you must take a dive was what was put in there. Askren didn't read it. And Askren read it and agreed to it. Tyron Woodley read it and agreed to it. The next fight he went on to... Who was after Woodley?
Yeah, so he fought Woodley twice. And then he was supposed to fight some other bloke.
Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is a non-bullshit boxer. He's a non-bullshit boxer. And everyone goes, "Oh, he backed out. He actually did not back out. Jake Paul backed out, but what he did, he paid off. So Tommy Fury was in fighting condition, and if you look at his Instagram, he's in fighting condition and everything. And he's taken
with the stomach, wasn't it?
Nah. So he took this post down. He was in prime condition, and Jake Paul said, "I can't fight, but we'll give you some of the pay-per-views for my next fight if you let
Woodley, the second
he'll give you some of the pay-per-views for the next fight if you come out and say that you backed out."
Yeah, right.
So he goes, "Oh, I had a stomach problem, yada yada yada." Fucking no, you didn't, cunt. You were ready to fucking go, and he took the post down where he was ready to go.
That's big. That's big if you took that down.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I think you got to give the man some credit. He's starting to get better. Like, I think he that fight against Silva. Silva was not throwing, obviously.
Silva had been knocked out twice in training. He's 47 years old and he's a kickboxer.
Yeah.
And also, for example, when he went out, the other thing that gets me is these old guys like Joe Rogan's an older man. They try and find the good in people.
Correct.
That's their job. They try and find the good. So he's going to come and say, if this guy wasn't a boxer, if he wasn't a YouTube star, he'd be a phenomenon. But he wouldn't have been because Anderson Silva went out sort of stumbling around from round one.
Oh, round one, he threw two punches. No, he literally threw one punch. It connected, but he threw one punch that first round.
See, but Jake, how old was Jake? 21, 22?
25, I think. He's 25, 26.
Shit. That's nearly prime time.
Yeah, it's nearly prime
Jesus, time. So he's in his prime when Anderson Silva's like on the way out.
Oh, literally, he's nearly double his age.
Yeah. Like, the thing is like, those Paul guys, and Logan's smart for not continuing, because he knew full well.
Mayweather wasn't allowed to knock him out.
Yes. No, that was in the clause too.
It was exhibition match. He wasn't allowed to knock out Logan.
No.
So who the fuck is one of... That's so corrupt. That's just back to my boxing point. That would not happen in the UFC.
No. That's why Dana doesn't want him. That's why Dana doesn't have him. If Dana White talks about it, if you look at Jake Paul's security guard, he's not a security guard at all. He worked for Dana White for years, and Dana fired him for doing corrupt deals for low-ranging fights. He fired him, I think it was 2010. Dana's like, "Get the fuck out of my business. I don't want anything to do with you." So Jake hired him to sign contracts, and Logan did too. Logan used him for the Floyd-Logan bout, and Mayweather originally turned it down. He goes, "No, there's no fucking way I'm doing that."
Mayweather sleeps Logan Paul if it's a proper boxing match.
Did you see Did you see how many openings he had for that?
100%. Yeah.
He had like 5 or 6.
But that's so slack. It's so fucking corrupt for the people that will actually pay money to watch it. I didn't. There's no way in fuck I was going to pay for that. I didn't pay. I don't pay for any of those ones because I think it's all corrupt and shit.
It is. It is.
UFC, I pay money to watch because
Oh, yeah.
I want the fighters to get paid. And I know there's only one thing that I can really hate on UFC. It's fighter pay.
Fighter pay is a hard one to crack because it goes off pay-per-views.
Correct.
But the thing is, fighter pay increases as you increase. So if the more you win, the more you earn, and that, to me, that's fair. That's fair game.
Yeah, and I can understand that, but I think fighters at the top should start earning a bit more.
Well, hold on. So I think Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor clocked in one of the biggest pay-per-view buys of all time,
That's
and
right.
second. Nate Diaz walked out with 1.5 million. Conor McGregor walked out with 2.4 million.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of it's a lot of money, and they get money off sponsors too. Let's not forget, and they make a lot of money outside the
There are
UFC.
sponsors, but they can't sponsor themselves while they're like. What I mean by that is Ronaldo has a huge fucking deal with Nike. So does LeBron. They can wear the Nike shoes out there. However, in the UFC, they're not allowed to wear their own gear. They have to wear the Reebok gear So that's that's another thing, but.
I think what they could do if they really wanted to is if they could start letting them wear their Nikes or they're wearing their whatever, and then that way it'd be fair game again.
Well, then fighters are getting more pay and they're getting looked after, and I think another huge thing is the healthcare. They don't get healthcare or anything when they're with the UFC.
Really?
Yeah, they don't get looked after healthcare wise, which is pretty bad, especially when you're done and dusted. Like for something like that, CTE can be picked up so easily. Yeah. All the head knocks and shit.
Well, if you're like that's a problem, because if you spend your life being a middle ranked fighter and then you come out at 37 and you go into the doctor's office and like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have Alzheimer's and it's not looking good for you. But America's healthcare is dog shit anyway.
Oh, it's fucked. Yeah,
that's why Paddy the Baddy's so well, because he's in England where he's got the good healthcare, and then those Australian boys are doing well because they live over here. We have good healthcare.
Yeah,
Canadian boys are doing well. Like, it's just the American guys, and a lot of them, fun fact, a lot of American fighters don't live in America.
Yeah, no,
because they want the healthcare. They want the healthcare.
Yeah, that, and they train in other places, according to their skill set. So I know that Aljamain Sterling goes to Thailand for his Muay Thai. So does PDR. Not that he's American.
So does Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah, Tai Tuivasa. He also goes to Thailand for that. I know that Leon Edwards stays in England.
Yes.
Because he was the first fighter to come out of England to win the belt.
Nice.
Who else?
Sterling goes to Jamaica, where he's from.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that, but I know he definitely goes to the Muay Thai in Thailand because it's fucking big there. And then Volk goes to New Zealand. Back to City Kickboxing. I reckon they're the best in the world.
Yeah, they have Robert Whittaker as well.
I don't think they have Robert Whittaker. I know they got Izzy.
They had Whittaker. They have Izzy, Volk. They used to have Robert Whittaker. Now he doesn't.
They're fighting each other and shit.
Yeah, but Whittaker left after he got done for a sketchy deal or something. But by them, it was either them or somebody in New Zealand was trying to screw him.
Yeah, well, obviously, as well as that, Izzy and Robert are rivals, so it's kind of awkward having the two guys.
Imagine that. Imagine that. You're just in the middle of the gym. You're just like hitting the bag, and you just look over and you're like...
Because I know Whittaker fights in Camden now, so he trains in Camden, in Western Sydney, yeah. Because that's where he's based. He's based out west, I'm pretty sure. He trains in Camden.
He has that Western mentality.
And he has that Jacob Malcoon as well, from Australia. He trains with Whittaker.
Yeah. There's Jake... Jacob. No, Jake...
Maladolena or whatever.
Yes.
Matthews.
No, Maladolema, who's out of Perth.
Yeah.
And they have a good little gang out in Perth.
They do. And then, that's City Kickboxing is really good. Dan Hooker, Kai Kara France, Volk when he goes down there, Izzy, fucking all these big names, bro.
You get all the big dogs.
They do. They got some big dogs and they fucking perform.
Some big dogs.
And I think the American top team, I think it was called, in where Masvidal was, they were good for a bit, but it's just like I think the whole Colby thing, Speaking of Colby, that's an interesting topic on itself. Colby Covington.
Colby Covington. What did he get done for?
Oh no, it's just his whole persona and his character in the UFC, I think.
Yeah. He's one of them. There's too many big egos out there.
Yeah, well that's right. I really rate Colby as a fighter, but I mean, it was a very interesting situation how they sold that Masvidal Colby fight.
Yeah, well, Masvidal, he's a good bloke, George, because he's a tough fighter.
Yeah, he's a tough fighter. I mean, he definitely shouldn't be touching the belt anytime soon.
Well, he had it.
He
He
had it
had
twice.
it, and he lost it. And the thing is, if you see, it shows character. Like Conor McGregor, when he lost the belt and got back up and got it again, he was like, all right, Conor, well done.
Yeah.
But if you get the belt twice, dude, hold on to the fucking thing, you know?
Yeah, fucking oath. Well, that's exactly right. Hold on to it.
Yeah. Have that kung fu grip on that motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's so true. But you get fucking, if you get a chance, fucking take it.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think looking at that Rocky Edwards fight, man, that was fucking crazy.
Dude, his uppercut. Oh, one of the uppercuts he has landed, Leon Rocky Edwards. I remember watching. See, I'm only new to Leon. I haven't seen much of him, but I saw one of his. I saw him do a right. I think it was right uppercut.
Yeah.
And he hit that like that was the best uppercut I've seen in the cage. I was like, what the fuck? Like that guy hit him hard.
Crazy. Yeah, he's I don't know if he's gonna win against Usman next. I hope he does, obviously. But
come on, Usman, he's a dangerous boy. He doesn't do any steroids. It's all natural, that boy, and they all are.
Yeah, they all think that. But I
mean, they're genetics.
Dude, the African genetics are crazy.
Crazy, dude. Let's look at our brother Kelvin. I love Kelvin, one of my best friends. He has the genetics of I've seen him do things and his mindset too. Beautiful minded person, but I've seen him do things like he plays basketball. Kelvin loves basketball. I've seen him hit shots. For example, the other day I saw him hit 2 no-looking threes.
Really?
He just pulled a Steph. Because he can do that.
Well, usually I call him Brick City, but I mean, he knows that. Yeah, I usually call him Brick City. I can't say I've seen him hit 2 no-looking threes, but that's a sight to see.
We saw him do it. I saw him do it, man. He has a good. Dude. I reckon because unfortunately Kelvin's leaving Goulburn. Unfortunately,
yeah, that's right.
But if he was to play basketball, I think if he dedicated himself, he'd do really, really well. I reckon he would.
Right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, anyone can do anything really well. I think.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
That's the thing. It's like, what is hard work? You know what I mean? That's what I think a big question is.
What is hard work?
What is hard work? Like, you know what I mean?
It's you meant to, isn't it? Because the thing, I think it was best said.
Everyone tells you to work hard, but what is it?
Well, I think it was best said by Conor McGregor, where it says, "I am not talented. I am just obsessed. If you can find one thing that you obsess about, you'll get the best results at." And everyone says hard work. Everyone says hard work because everyone grew up very vaguely. Everyone, don't have mental health. They grew up very vaguely. So I think if you, what it's about is, say you walk in and I want to be a realtor. You get obsessed on being a realtor. Yeah. And then you can do well at that one thing. And then that's the hard work, is just being obsessed on whatever it is and like staying true to it.
Yeah, well, that's right, yeah. So you want to do real estate?
No, I was just using that as an example.
Oh, no, I was just saying, I've had a bit of time at Ray White Gold and I could give you a hand. But yeah, nah. Well, that's the thing. I think it's such a broad statement and a lot of people don't understand how to actually take it in. Work hard. Like, what the fuck is working hard? Like,
it's a lot of those phrases, like, take the bull by the horns. But how do you do it?
Yeah, how do you
No one fucking tells you how to do it.
Exactly. It's such a broad statement, and I think, well, personally, if you ask me what working hard is, it's, as you said, just really, you can only use, like, metaphors to try to explain it. Like, if someone asked me to say, what is working hard, I'd say, like, knuckling down on what you're doing. You just used a metaphor to explain it. It's not literally what hard work is. It's a really difficult, broad statement for a lot of people to understand, especially when you're talking about certain areas. So let's use the real estate area you just used. How do I work hard as a real estate agent? Do I get my papers done quick? Do I do more papers afterwards? Do I call up more people? What's hard work? How do you... Okay, now let's use a different area. Macca's. Let's say I'm a chef at more cooking burgers at Macca's. How do I work harder? Do I make more fucking burgers?
I bet you there's only one answer to this. Yeah. You know what it is? It is finding the shittest job in any aspect of your job. Just finding the shittest work. Like every single job you're gonna do, there's gonna be a job where everyone's like, oh, whatever that job is. If you work hard and are enjoying that, not only will you piss people off, but that is probably hard work. That's probably the hardest work.
Well, that's absolutely right. If you can smash it out in an area you don't like, then you're gonna be able to smash out an area that you do like, and it's just building up that mentality.
Yeah.
And I think the mentality comes down to this, and this is what I've learned since going to the gym, because obviously I was fucking lazy. You guys, you could see, I was fucking but I'm still well behind everyone else. I'm getting stronger for my weight. I'm sticking to 70, right? Yeah. But I'm getting stronger for my weight, but I'm not going to be anywhere near they are because they started earlier than me. But I think the biggest thing with going to the gym and people that are struggling to stay committed, it's like, if you have motivation doesn't last forever, but if you have motivation for a little bit, motivation builds discipline. Once you have discipline, then you're sweet.
Yeah, it's like building a chain. What it's like is like if you build a big enough chain, you can sort of like shackle yourself to it. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're building your own prison. Like
yeah. So my motivation for me really was obviously the schoolies coming around the corner. Yeah,
fucking schoolies.
Yeah, me and Brado have been training pretty hard for that, trying to get.
Oh my god, dude! I hear you're going away tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Wednesday, is it? You're going down?
Not quite, man.
No.
Yeah, they kind of left it a bit late for me to let me know if I was going or not. So
dogging them, dog me too, bro. Yeah, fuck you. That's right.
They told me too late. They said I could come. It was just too late for me. I couldn't do it. So yeah, but no, I think. Yeah, so that's me and Brado's inspiration at the moment, because we're the only two in the group really, and Flynn and Gray as well. Love that guy.
Who doesn't love Flinny Gray?
Yeah, we're the only boys going to schoolies now, so we're just fucking knuckling down there in the gym there, and as I said, that was my motivation for a bit, but then the motivation dies off as it does. It does.
That's right.
I mean, it depends though what your how strong your motivation is. So obviously your motivation to lose weight is going to be much stronger than me to get a good body for schoolies, because obviously it's different scenarios. But I think for me personally, and a lot of people, the motivation will get you there, but then it's up to your discipline, which will grow as you have motivation. The discipline grows. Everything and then once you got discipline, then you just know, okay, I don't want to do it, but I have discipline. I've built that from motivation. I'm going to go to the gym now.
That's right. It's like, if you look at a body of water, like if you look at all these different bodies of water, you have an ocean, you have a lake, you have a stream, whatever the fuck you have. Like, if you start building a stream, and every day you just add a rock to it, every day add a rock to it, eventually, before you know it, you'll have a lake.
Absolutely.
And then you can build from there, and then it'll just grow and grow, and then before you know it, you have a dam or whatever. But it takes like that first rock to be added to the stream.
Yeah, that's right.
Then it just over time, like because people can't see the difference, they don't think it's there, but it definitely shows up every time you do it.
Yeah. Now you mentioned water. I think water is a great way to live your life. I think using the ideology of water, like as you said, water can be in many forms, many ways. It can be in a cup, it can be a tsunami.
Yep.
If you live your life like water, it's like Bruce Lee said, I think you can live a great life, knowing what to be, what form of water you need to be for different times.
That's
like
right.
when when you need to be a tsunami, you can be a tsunami. When you need to be a lake that's really calm, you can be a lake. You can be an ocean, nice and smooth and calm.
That's right.
But wavy, then you can be an ocean. And if you need to be a fucking all those sort of forms of water, just even just a simple cup of water, you can be that. Just quiet, silent. Tsunami, then you're fucking loud, aggressive, or you need to be angry, then you know how to be a tsunami. Just all these certain types of forms of water.
Yeah,
I think it's a great way to live your life.
That's right. Yeah, and water also is like in cyclones and things, and we use that example like when the boys are on, like when guys are going on, everyone's having a good time, you turn into a cyclone of just excitement. You're like, fuck yeah, boy, and you just go crazy, and like, but
just different types of forms of water, and they come in different ways.
That's right.
And it can turn into water is so good because it can be, it's good for health, but then it can be turned into a very powerful thing, like if you put
ice
from or it can turn into ice, or it can turn into steam. It can come out of a gurney gun, and I was washing a car the other day. I got my hand with a gurney gun. It hurts to fucking blast in my hand. And then the pressure of water from it's crazy. Water is crazy like that.
Yeah,
it's it can come in different forms, different ways, and I think it's a great, as Bruce Lee said, be water, my friend.
Yeah, be water. Oh yeah. Judy, we're at 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Well, do you have any more topics you want to bring up?
Oh, dude, we've been hitting homers. We've just been hitting homers.
Yeah, well, let me know if you have any other topics.
Oh, mate, for sure. I don't know. I think you squeezed the lemon on this one, Jude.
Yeah, I think we are. Fucking.
You gave it to it. You had the kung fu grip. You just.
Yeah, fucking. Grab that cock pretty tight.
Didn't let up.
Absolutely. Oh, fucking oath. Well, yeah, no, it's good.
It was great. It was great, Tom.
So who else do you got coming on?
Who else got coming on? Well, next in line, the one and only Gus Young. I keep bringing him up. I keep dangling that meat, so I got to get him in here. Got to get him in here. Great guy. I got some more people lined up. One of them being the infamous Jai Morby. He doesn't love Jai Morby. After him, we've got. I had a lot of people come to me and want to be on this. But Will Simmons was a big one. We had fucking. I went to this party and I just had people like just lining up. You know what I mean?
Right. You know, the more cunts you get, the better. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
And hopefully, me being the first, I can start like the wave of the chain wave of more people coming in. You know.
Please do.
And then once more people start coming in, you start getting more views and better. I
building.
That's alright. But I'm keen to come back in if you ever need someone else to talk about current world fucking news. You know, as I said, you know, a lot of these people here, or I'm not going to say everyone, but a lot of people don't think of the world like I do. I think of it much differently. I'm very open-minded like yourself. A lot of people are very closed-minded today. They're very opinionated and they're very stuck up on their views. Right. For me, I look at it I look at the whole picture. You know, I look at every side, every view. Yep. As I said, I respect LGBTQ people. I respect the African American community. I respect all these other people that feel targeted. But I also see why they're victims. I can understand. I can understand all of it. I understand people like that and understand patterns, how things work. So, if you ever need me back, lad, let's fucking do it, bro.
I will. I fucking will.
Yeah, and get these ones out the way, and we'll have another chat about whatever new fucking shit that's happening.
That's right.
Yeah, bro. So I'll try to get the other boys on.
Bless you. Thank you very much.
No worries, bro.
As always, on that fucking salt, baby.
Yeah, and the fucking salt cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.